Yeah, okay. Move that over there. What's up, where's the chat? Oh my god, I don't even have chat up. I'm like running late and don't even have my shit together. Let me get the chat up. Alright, here we go. And we got it. What's up, everybody? I am Jan Erickson. This is my Hyperion channel called Mindful Monad, in which I am a Mindful Monad, Hyperion, taking a look at shit going on in the world. Tonight is Friday Night Chat. You know what that means? That means endless rabbit holes until we completely exhaust ourselves. Where the fuck is my glasses, Rag? My glasses. Glasses down. I need better glasses. Like, I need a higher magnification. Because this ain't doing it for me, honeys. Let's see. My good friend Cassie's in the house. She's supposed to be cleaning up her apartment. Get back to cleaning immediately. Hey, Katrina. Cassidy, our royal lurker. Cassidy has recently opened a channel. It's a clip channel for Mindful Monad. So if you want to see some clips of big long streams and stuff, go ahead. And you can find that. Let me drop the link. Let me find the link. I know where the link is. So pretty much youtube.com/@HyperionLurker. Go check out the Hyperion Lurker and you can see some clips and stuff. I highly suggest you go subscribe to Cassidy. And you can see some more Mindful Monad. That looks like shit. Very good. And Cassie's eating ribs. Ribs! I need better reading glasses, seriously. I mean, these are like generic. They're not like prescribed or anything. Like, I just need reading glasses, but I think I need more magnification. So, some interesting things going on today. Something I want to get into that could spark me to talk about something. I don't know if any, like right at the end of Morg's live stream, some guy popped into the chat and was like being a little trolly, but essentially his name was Sovereign Rob or something. I don't even remember. And somebody asked about sovereignty, which is, you know, like a sovereign citizen. And sovereign citizens are straight up extra Karens. They're Karens for police. They just like waste time. It's a whole movement. So I thought it'd be interesting to get into that because I've actually been watching a lot of sovereign citizens like argue with cops recently. And basically, like, I'm not voting for anybody. The cops are nobody. I'm just like essentially just watching people argue with each other in really irritating ways. And Maria Seedling, hello! Can't stay too long, it's late and have some busy week, but yeah, come by. That's awesome. Disco balls in the chat for Maria. It's so rare that Maria is coming by. Disco balls. Also, if you'll notice, there's a new emoji, custom emoji. It is a lemon because I am Lemon Jan and I like to be sour sometimes. Or I can get sour. I can either be sweet or sour. It's really up to you. And it's really up what mood I'm in. I don't get spicy. I get sour. Make you pucker. And I did, like, change the disco ball a little bit. I don't know. The last one was, like, seemed really plain. And there's actually a disco emoji that's come out. And, of course, it looks, like, way better than mine. I'm like, of course you get this out. Where is the other disco ball? Is it even there? Ball. Ball. Yeah, this. This is like the regular emoji. And I'm like, this looks better than mine. Like, of course they had to come out with this right as soon as I made mine. Or put mine together. I didn't design it. It's like a free image. But still. I hope everybody's having a good day. We're just getting started, so we will wait for people to get in. Mine's better. See, I think that one's better. I don't know. They beat me to it. I, like, could have used this emoji, like, disco ball emoji, like, 10 years ago, but... Yeah, we're just gonna wait for people to get in. You know how it goes. It's Friday, it's a long stream. We're just gonna like relax and sit back and eat snacks, drinks, and whatever, have dinner, who gives a shit, and just go down rabbit holes. There's a few angles I'd like to go on today. They don't always have to be serious subjects, but you know me, I'm always looking into some serious shit. One thing I do kind of want to like touch base on is recently a friend of Mr. Beast, his name is Chris, recently came out as non-binary and trans and is feminizing his appearance and is getting so much shit from YouTubers, like just full-on bullied, treated like an absolute animal, and I just don't like that. My lemon is good. My lemon has a face. It's got a little like sour face. I actually do have a bag of lemons. Like, hold on. I'm not even joking with the title. Watch out. Like, I'm gonna need to make a lot of tea. Or, like, do something to, like, preserve all these motherfucking lemons. Like, I just... a lot. Great, you can see me in my underwear. That's awesome. YouTube's like, block. Like, I haven't stood up in my underwear here, like, a billion times to write shit on the board behind me. I always wondered about that. I'm like, is that appropriate? I mean, technically it's my underwear, but it also looks like Spanky, so... And then one time I actually wore, like, yoga shorts, which looked completely identical to my underwear. How did we get from lemons to underwear? I will never fucking know. Oh, right. I was trying to show you all my lemons, but it's like a big bag of just, like... there's, like... There's seriously like 30 lemons here. I don't know if y'all have suggestions of what to do. I love lemons. I think I do want to like zest a bunch of them, because if you get a lemon zester and zest lemons, you can freeze lemon zest and it stays like, you know, crumply, crinkly, so you can like spritz it on stuff. It's amazing. When life gives you lemons. Do nothing. Haha. So, fuck my camera up. God damn it. God damn it, Jan. damn it. Janet. No, I'm not a Janet. Hey, Mark, good to see you. Yeah, I mean, I like lemon water, or I like I just don't want to get stuck like making a whole bunch of lemon desserts, because then it's over. Because things like lemon meringue pie, I love it so much. Why am I green? Dude, stop being green. Green? I am not green. I guess I'm green. But lots of lemon zest. You can like sit and zest like all the skin off like lemons and then like save that, and it lasts for a while like in the freezer. I don't have a dehydrator. I do have like a air fryer, so I don't know. Mark says his child will eat raw lemon without the cringe face. See, I still do the cringe face, but I do love the sourness of lemon. Pretty much I'm always at a loss for titles on Friday, because I'm not like, I honestly don't know what it is I'm going to cover, so I just write something ridiculous now. That's the thing I do. Let's see, tea, put water and lemon, save the zest. I could just save the lemon juice as well. I'm gonna have to process them all at once. That's honestly gonna be something I have to do this weekend, because I don't want to just like leave them alone like that. Because you know how it is, like when you have a bunch of lemons, I don't know if you know this, like there's always that one lemon that just like gives up. I don't like, and within an instant too, like through half a day, the lemon's like, you know what? I don't want to live anymore. And then it turns like dusty and like gray, and then it's like gooey, squishy, and then like you pick it up and then there's all the dust off of it, and then your lungs get infected with spores, and then you die. True story. Let's see. Yeah, those are nasty, right? The skin, yeah, the skin turns into a moldy powder. It's so gross, because you have to. I remember one time I picked one up, like just like this, like off my counter, and then I'm like, oh, ew, that's gross, and I went to drop it in the garbage can, but it missed, so it hit the ground, and it just went, just all over. It was so nasty. I was like, ugh. Oranges do that too. I don't know, like that's why you like if you're keeping like fruits and vegetables and stuff, like try not to let things touch the lemons, because it like makes them go. Yeah, avocados just die. I've commanded all avocados to listen to me, so they don't do that in my presence. We're not quite ready. We will do tarot of the day if people want to do that, but not yet. I have shuffled them though considerably, and I don't set them up. I can even shuffle them all before you again if you want. That was such a cool tarot card reading, though. We were just like joking around and stuff. Mark guessed what the card was before I went back and grabbed it. It was not, it was like the Hierophant. But then when I moved the Hierophant, the tower was right behind it, which Mark guessed. So that was like way neat. And then it was a very comprehensive a reading. I do love that website, the Corax. We might have to look at that. It's also like really fun to read about the archetypes of each card. So even though you don't have anything in mind to like think about, you know, it's just really cool to learn about these archetypes and keep them in mind. Maybe if you could get really high. You gotta get prepared to get on the certain wavelength, okay? Snack a quarter of a gummy like 15 minutes ago. Oh, that kind of gummy. I'm like, for a minute, I'm like, why are you eating a part of a gummy bear? Oh no, I get you now. Edibles don't really work well for me. 250 milligrams? No, I'll just eat them all. Hey, if you're just getting in, welcome. Please hit the like, kick off your shoes, sit back and relax, chillax. We're gonna get started here on, going down the rabbit holes. We really got to get into sovereign citizens today because they're extra Karens and, yeah, I like to listen to their horrible logic. Bing, 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 bing. I gotta freshen up our playlist. In fact, I think I'm gonna start getting into making it myself from scratch. A made from scratch playlist, Mindful Monad playlist for streaming that you could all have access to download. How does that sound? I remember there being like a limitation. I can't remember what that was. I think it is 250. Like that's the highest dosage you can do. Like here in the dispensaries in California, like they're capped at a certain milligram. Is it 200 or is it like something one? I don't know. Let me look. Let's see. What highest milligram of THC for edibles? Edibles. Oh, okay. California ruled that cannabis edibles should not exceed 10 milligrams of THC per serving, while packages of edibles must have no more than 100 milligrams of THC. Interesting. These regulations have raised much confusion regarding the accepted variances of the THC levels. California and two regulatory agencies that oversee the state's cannabis industry are the Bureau of Cannabis Control and California Department of Public Health. Both organizations released two seemingly contradictory regulations regarding edibles and their allowed level of THC. So CDPH regulations require strict adherence to 10 milligrams of THC per serving, 100 milligrams of THC in a package. BCC regulations, however, allows for a 10% variance in THC levels. In other words, an edible product could be deemed within legal limits by the BCC, even though it exceeds more than 10 milligrams per serving. Concern? The apparent contradiction in these two regulations left the industry unsure of how to proceed. Manufacturers were worried about losing their investments and development costs in products that unexpectedly fail CDPH regulations due to a slight variance. Meanwhile, BCC regulation raised concerns that edible products and infused beverages deemed legal under the 10% variance would expose manufacturers, vendors, and industry members to the product liability suits. Finally, the entire cannabis industry feared that this lack of clarity would increase regulatory costs, legal fees, and insurance premiums. Thankfully, the regulatory agencies responded to the industry concerns and clarifies its rules on February 5th, 2019. Blah, blah, blah. Responding to BCC's reiteration, stated that it did not consider the BCC's rule to conflict with its THC limit. So the final legal determination by both agencies is that edible cannabis products that exceed 10 milligrams of THC by less than 10% are illegal for sale. So despite this clarification, however, industry members remain wary. The CDPH public comments are helpful. The regulation itself remains unchanged. It expressly prohibits the sale of edibles that contain more than 10 milligrams of THC. So as a result, some are worried that the risk of liabilities remains unsolved. The regulation itself provides the basis for some to claim that the product was unsafe, even though it was within 10% variance. As edibles continue to increase in popularity, there are genuine concerns that manufacturers, distributors, and sellers of edibles that are within 10% variance but above the 10 milligram legal limit are leaving themselves open to the potential for product liability lawsuits. So there could be some liability there if it's like something happens and it's like technically over 10%, which I just have a hard time imagining, because what the fuck are you going to do with an extra 10% in your system? So let's see. Mark says you can only buy a pack of 20 Delta A's in Georgia. That totals 5,000 milligrams. A whole 250 Rexia. Yeah, I don't know then. I don't know how I would do then. I would need like a to do one of each. I want to know what 250 feels like. I don't know, but like, you know, back in my day, before these dispensary nonsense, you'd get some boy making cookies, weed cookies for you, some edibles, and you had no fucking clue. Like, no fucking clue. I had a weed cookie once from some college kid when I was living in downtown Salt Lake City with my first boyfriend, and I just ate I'm like, whatever, I'll just have the cookie because I don't care. Because honestly, every time somebody's like, here, have this muffin, have this cookie, be careful, it's so powerful, like, and every time I like have it, like nothing really happens. But this one time I'm like, I'm just gonna go ahead and eat the whole thing because everybody always tells me it's potent, and it never, like, I never feel anything. So I had it, and holy shit, I was having the time of my life. Like, I had a smile that wouldn't stop. Like, I was completely useless. All I could do was just lay on the floor. But I was happy. I was happy. It's just like laying there. But it is a lot. It's like, oh shit, I just took like 10 giant bong hits at once. Call your cannabis lawyer. Contact your cannabis lawyer. Katrina had a brownie once that was made with cannabis infused butter. I've tried to make cannabis infused butter. I don't think I'm an expert on it, but I've done it. Pretty sure your cannabis lawyer is dead now. My cannabis lawyer, I don't know. I picture somebody like Cheech and Chong. That's the thing too. You don't want to like put too much of that in there, because like I don't like edibles that taste like weed. Like, I'll just like eat a bud if that's. I'll just. Gate would go brave. God, there's so much ridiculousness going on. I'm getting a little like irritated with this whole woke war thing. Like, I don't like care less about that word, but like I see it brought up everywhere by right-wing people, of course. Like, I was just before I went live, I'm just reading up on this situation where one of Mr. Beast's friends came out as non-binary trans, and so everybody in the fucking YouTube arena is coming after him, making fun of him, like all the dudes mainly, just saying that Chris is the guy who's non-binary transitioning, and he's fine with he him pronouns, but anyways, he's transitioning, he's feminizing his appearance, and it's so sad that all these like YouTube bros are coming forward and being like, ew, that's disgusting, like he's just doing something nasty for attention and stuff, and what about Chris's wife and child? Like, and my favorite take too is that some YouTuber was saying that Chris should have considered Mr. Beast's like whole brand and look, aesthetic appeal before coming out as trans, which is disgusting, frankly. Luckily, Mr. Beast, Mr. Beast is doing the basic, but Mr. Beast is coming out and speaking on this and saying that he's just really fucking disgusted by everybody's transphobic bullcrap. So there was one YouTuber who is like really like just saying some nasty things about the situation. It's really short. Here, I'll play it for you. And then like the title of it is like why Chris will soon be a nightmare for Mr. Beast. And Mr. Beast, he's so fucking pissed. He says, yeah, this is getting absurd. Chris isn't my nightmare. He's my fucking friend and things are fine. All this transphobia is starting to piss me off. You know, sometimes it takes hitting close to home with somebody that you know and care about for you know, for people to get the enragement. Oh, it's just a Sunny V2. Let's see. Somebody I'm not gonna like. Even Ethan Klein is getting on this shit today. Like, lots of people are like really mad. A lot of people are rallying behind Chris because everyone else is just freaking out. They're just totally displaying their mental issues, because I'll tell you what, transphobia is a total mental issue. Like, if you're thinking about trans people in disgusting ways, I mean, that's people who are transphobic think about trans people like way more than trans people think about themselves. Stop it, groovy music. We don't want to listen to you right now. Luckily, this guy is really short. Because honestly, there's just only so much transphobic nonsense I can listen to.
The Chris Tyson situation could become a complete disaster for Mr. Beast.
Yeah, how? What? Somebody being true to themselves is going to ruin Mr. Beast's brand? Mr. Beast isn't going anywhere. Neither is his brand. Like, that's an insane... And also, to refer to Chris Tyson as... I mean, this is pretty much insinuating referring to Chris Tyson as a complete disaster. Like... Yeah, Mark. So, Mark... No, that's totally right. Like, I've been thinking about this a lot. Like, the reactionary right-wingers are so fear-driven, and they don't even know their disgust, revulsion, etc. It's just, like, fear. Their own projected and, like, their own fear, like, projected and displaced it is. That's why, like, it's just, it really... They really do think and talk about trans people more than trans people think who talk about themselves. Look at Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh has made an entire career off of hating trans people, and it's just so out of left field. It's just so out of pocket, you know. It's like nobody's actually seeing. I mean, I'm seeing how Matt Walsh is a deranged lunatic. He's obsessive, and I bet you a fucking $1 million that on the side, Matt Walsh is fetishizing trans people. I bet you $1 billion. Let's look at Matt Walsh's porn history, shall we? Shall we find out that it's chicks with, you know? I swear, it's like Matt Walsh needs to be put in a home. It's like, Matt, do you see any trans people in the room right now? They're everywhere. It's like, all right, we gotta give him another shot. Like, he's such a lunatic. And so is like Jordan Peterson on the issue too. Somebody screaming from the closet. Yeah, Jordan Peterson, I swear to God, secretly like is a woman. I think that's why he hates women so much. I really do think deep down he's actually a woman and he hates himself so fucking much. No, it's all the right side. That's why it's constantly reiterated that trans people, their only agenda is what? Nothing. We just want to live. I just want to pay my bills and brush my teeth. I mean, that's kind of like what my mom says to me. She's like, I don't care what's going on with you as long as you're happy, you're healthy, you're paying your bills, and you're brushing your teeth. Like, that's it. And that's how things should be fucking going, you know? Just want to be regular ass people. Let the government fucking suck the taxes out of me. Alright? Just like anybody else. That's a good mom. She is. Yeah, I don't care. That's always her go-to. Are you paying... Like, whenever I feel stressed in life, I'm like, oh, I'm not doing things right. She's like, are you paying your bills? Yes. Are you brushing your teeth? Yes. Then what's the matter? Nothing. All right, then settle down. All right, let's listen to this dick. It's only 9 minutes long, luckily, and I already hate it, the first sentence.
Brand. However, it may also provide some unique benefits. So let's begin by going over the drama before explaining exactly how this will impact the Mr. Beast channel. In mid-2022, fans began to notice that Chris Tyson was changing. In the early days, he represented the quintessential southern gun and truck loving dude. Yet beginning in March 2022...
Oh my god, fingernail polish. Get him! Can you imagine, like, a man just simply putting on fingernail polish, and then everybody's like, oh no, the trans is taking over. It's like a disease. It'll soon take over your entire body. First it starts with your nails. Fabulous, fabulous nails. What will we do? Just think about fucking Jordan Peterson. What are we gonna do about men when they start putting on beautiful nail polish from the nail tech? What are we gonna do when all the men have gorgeous manicured hands?
began to display increasingly feminine traits.
Let me get the, I also forget, too, that because I have a whole other screen, I can actually, like, do big screen, too. Like that. Isn't that amazing? I forget.
Making tweets such as "I finally got my nails done at a nail tech." Additionally, Chris would highlight that his facial appearance had changed significantly since the start of the pandemic, which accompanied another post reading, "Okay, so in 4 different customs I had to prove I was myself because I, quote, look nothing like my passport pic, so much that I'm considering updating my passport. Do you see any resemblance?" Prompting replies such as, "You went from man to boy." Chris responded,
"Dude. You went from man to boy? What if people are, like, who is this? Joshua Rises? Like, can you ever just, like, you don't even need to click on somebody's profile. You can just, like, look at their username and their, like, avatar pic, and you just know precisely what the fuck they're about.
By stating, nah, to be honest, I just really started taking my mental health seriously and eating better. Yet his Twitter photos kept insinuating that Chris was becoming more feminine, with this same kind of look showing up in his Mr. Beast appearances. For example, on the 6th of January 2023, Beast Reacts uploaded a video titled I strapped a GoPro to a fish, in which Chris dressed in a way that prompted comments such as, Chris has been adopting more and more traits that remind me of my grandmother. Okay, so some people just gonna ignore Chris's nails?
Yes.
Chris had to have lost a bet. The look is getting wild.
Oh, that's sad. See, that's sad. Like, and even then, I just want to defend men here. Like, for a man to just, like, put on nails or just, like, have long hair or anything like that, like, does it have to be something, like, derogatory? Does it really have to be, like, well, you're transforming back into a boy? Or, you know, that looks reminds me of my grandmother. And this person, I love this. Okay, so some people are just going to ignore Chris's nails? Yes! Unless you want to admire them. You shut the fuck up.
The response to the video then prompted countless viral TikToks, such as this one with 700,000 likes, stating how did Chris go from this to this, while others even made the claim that Carl had turned him gay. Now, this was pretty ridiculous, as Carl isn't even that feminine, and Chris had come out as bisexual years before he and Carl had even met. The true catalyst for Chris Tyson's feminization instead seemed to have come from his marriage. In January 2022, Chris would post a photo with his wife to his Instagram, yet after this, the family photo stopped altogether. Fans also noticed that he'd removed his wedding ring, with the ring's absence correlating perfectly with the very first post in which he'd painted his nails. Chris confirmed the split in a post from March 2023 reading, "For a little over a year now, me and Katie have been separated," with this also confirming that Chris's transformation began as soon as his marriage came to an end. Chris went from lighting campfires and raising a family with his beautiful wife to now trying to be a wife with his man buns and long nails.
How crazy is it? How absolutely crazy is it that these YouTubers are obsessing over Chris's life and what's going on? Like, obsessing, like, all the way down to, like, dragging up, like, shit from his family, like, dealings with his wife. Like, what business is that of anybody's? Hey, Katrina, thank you so much. People need to stop hating themselves. They really do, honestly. That's like not to be like a kumbaya fucking like love and lighter thing. You really do got to start caring about yourself. It's like you can care for other people and not take care of yourself, but it's so important to care for yourself. Or at the very least, stop being mean to yourself. A lot of ways people also express self-hatred is by just simply hating others. Like, they can't even wrestle with the fact that they don't like themselves, unfortunately. I think that's a lot of good parts of process of the inner star actualization that we do, this self-actualization where you integrate your shadow, because your shadow is pretty much the parts of you that either other people taught you to hide down deep inside, or you've decided to hide deep down inside yourself. Parts about you that you don't feel comfortable bringing to the light, and that you hide and mask and disguise under just heaps of odd personality traits and knee-jerk reactions to things that you wouldn't normally have a knee-jerk reaction to if you understood yourself better and you understood the world around you better. And I feel like a lot of understanding yourself helps you understand others and helps you have compassion for others and what they're going through. So it's so sad, these people. It's just like, and you know what I hate about this too? It's like the dark, scary music. The dark, scary music. Like, look at his kid. He left his kid. Like, he didn't abandon his family. They just were separated, you know? And it's none of our business what's going on there. But this music is all like, oh, look at what Chris did. He turned into a lunatic. It's like, no, you guys are the lunatics. You're the lunatics painting this, calling Chris a nightmare. I can see why Mr. Beast is fucking pissed. Mr. Beast comes straight off the bat saying, Chris is not my nightmare. Chris is my friend. Fuck you. And that's, I think, what I want to see more of in this world. You know, was been thinking too, like, it's like, who really has like the ultimate power to really put a dent in transphobia and really knock it down is cis men. I think cis men can really help transphobia if they come out and start doing the basic things and start speaking about these issues and having the conversations themselves. Because, you know, it shouldn't be left up to trans people to solve transphobia. That's not our mess. Okay? This isn't similar, or this isn't the same thing, but it's similar. Similarly, I know black people are tired of white people being like, well, how do we solve this? How do we solve racism? And it's like, well, that's your problem as a white person, as white people. You made this. It's whiteness. Like, it's you. Like, the key to that is, I've heard plenty of black people say that the key to dismantling racism is actually white women who continuously support and coddle white men in power who pull off this racist shit. I feel like it's a similar situation. I feel like cis men need to be having the conversation about, you know, protecting trans people and understanding trans people. Because they're the guys that are doing the, ew, you fucking sick freak, oh, nasty. It's like, that's where it needs to stop. So I want to see more cis men standing up for trans people and telling other cis dudes, to shut the fuck up. I'm always on the fence about Mr. Beast, but I do like that he's just straight up just like, you know what, I'm pissed. Like, this is dumb, and all of you need to stop.
As the criticism continued to pile, Chris announced that he'd be taking a break from social media. And while there was a possibility that Chris would
I hate this guy's voice. Social media. Like, don't drag your shit on like that, dude. Get on with your stupid, scary video, you fucking transphobe.
Return to his former self. He'd rather do the opposite and double down on his feminine image,
great.
showing up to the Kids' Choice Awards looking like
They
this
look great.
before making the announcement that he'd been doing HRT for approximately 2 months, which according to a quick Google search is the medical process for changing genders. Chris would expand on this by stating, informed consent HRT saved my and many others' lives.
Yes.
The hurdles GNC people have to jump through to get life-saving gender-affirming healthcare in a first world country is wild to me. Just let people make informed decisions about their own bodies, which received a positive response from both Carl and Mr. Beast,
yes,
who wrote, got you. I did one more heart than Carl because I'm a better friend. While his co-workers expressed positivity, others weren't so welcoming. There goes a father figure the kid won't ever be able to look up to.
Oh, what the hell? See, already. There goes a father figure that kid won't ever be able to look up to. Why? Chris is non-binary. Like, what makes you think they can't be a good parental figure? I hope I get to be a dad someday. I'm non-binary. I think I got a lot to offer. I need a little bit more wisdom and patience, but hard times create strong men. Okay. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. What? What am I looking at? What does that even mean, and how does that even apply to anything? Evan, we are all now stupider for having listened to you. I feel like the hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Okay? But strong... I don't know. This guy's... Evan's definition of strong man, I don't think is creating a very good time right now. In fact, I think he's creating a very terrible time for Chris. Good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. Weak man times. Okay. Thank you, Professor fucking Evan. Thank you for enlightening us.
Hard times create strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times, weak man times. Chris responded to this comment by
like
stating,
fake stoic.
this is just more dog whistling that somehow trans and GNC folks aren't safe around kids. Tucker begs for me to come back when I leave for like 2 days to film. He is so loved and happy. Kids aren't born with hate, it's taught by people like you, and my child will only know love. I know I'm going to be a great parent, and so is every other person who puts the love of their child before everything. I made this decision because I wanted to show up as my best and happiest self for him. In a way, this was for Tucker. Chris's response received some positivity, such as, I'm convinced you're an amazing father. Tucker is lucky to have you and also lucky to have all of those who surround and support you in his life. As well as I adore that, I'm glad you made that decision. It's so much easier to be a parental figure when you're not struggling with dysphoria, yet he'd also receive an equal amount of backlash.
See, I think that's a beautiful follow-up from Chris, saying, like, you know what? Like, my boy misses me, and I'm there for him, and nothing's going on there, and he did that for his kid. I mean, he didn't want to live a lie for his child. I think that's really endearing. Wanted to be an example of showing his child how to live to your best, fullest potential, to the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. I think that's beautiful. That's exactly the kind of example we should be setting for kids. It's not teaching them, like, you should be trans or you should be non-binary. It's saying, hey, whoever you are, like, make sure you love yourself for it. Or a copy of Ryan Holiday. Caring for doesn't have any gender. No, because you can't, because even among cis people, they still have the argument. So why even have that argument with trans people too? Cis people have the argument amongst themselves a lot of the time. Who's more caring for a child, mom or dad? Like cis mom or cis dad? Like that's still an argument because there's so much nuance into that. You really can't like sit there and say either men or women love their children more or less. You love your child, you're going to care for them. If not, then you're going to be a piece of shit and you shouldn't have children. The end. The same thing should be with trans people as well. Like, you love your child, you can care for them, do it. Fuck yeah, that's amazing. It's got nothing to do with your gender. If you're going to be a piece of shit, then you don't need children. I also love how, like, these people will put trans people up on, like, a pedestal, sort of like a self-righteous pedestal. Like, if trans people commit any type of human mistakes that regular cis-ass people do, then they'll take it as, like, a sign, like, haha, see, we're right, you're fucked up. Yeah, Mark says, I am the comforter when my daughter is sad, at least half the time. What a bunch of sexist yikes. Exactly. How sexist would it be? Like, anyways. Oh, and this person's nasty comment. You ripped apart your family and took a father figure away from your son just so you can paint your nails and act zesty, pathetic. No, a beer. If anything's pathetic, it's your comment and your gross ass, like, fascination with somebody who's just living their best life.
You ripped apart your family and took a father figure away from your son just so you could paint your nails and act zesty. Pathetic. He will get torn apart at school, won't want to have friends around his house. A life full of difference and being alone.
Oh,
Must have missed the point in that tweet. How's this for him when you're depriving him of a father figure? Although Chris wasn't altered by these comments, as he'd once again reiterate his certainty in a new post reading, it's never too late to start being yourself,
yes,
which received praise from Mr. Beast as well as Nolan and Carl. However, these comments also added extra fuel to the fire. In a few years, look back at this thread and remember they were never your friends. Only yes men cowards. Hope you come out of this safe. Mr. Beast responded to this with a simple opinion irrelevant ratio, to which the original commenter would state, I have 30 followers, so go ahead and ratio me. I'll still rest easy knowing that I'm not a coward who idly sits by watching my friend ruin his own life. In some ways, it was nice to see the boys standing up for Chris on Twitter. However, the situation situation has already begun to change the dynamic within the videos. For example, in a recent livestream titled Opening 1,000 Mystery Art Boxes, Chris would once again dress in quite a feminine way, and while everybody participated as usual, the energy and vibe didn't feel nearly as smooth as it normally does. It felt as though there was an unaddressed elephant in the room, and therefore everybody was in their head, as opposed to being in the present moment enjoying each other's company. Maybe everybody was simply too busy opening packages, but Chris did make these bizarre jokes about Jimmy being female, making him incredibly uncomfortable.
Oh my god, Jimmy, look, they drew you. Jimmy, they drew you so well. It looks just like you.
Oh, yes.
Oh my god, it's Jimmy.
How did fan art? This is what we were looking for. Be brave, be honest, be kind, Mr. Beast. That is my tagline.
Becoming even weirder when each member started to pay each other compliments.
That's reading a little bit
nice
too
shirt.
much.
Thanks, dude. Nice shirt.
Hey, nice shirt.
Thanks, dude. Nice shirt.
Thanks. Nice shirt.
Nice shoes.
For the most part, the live stream was devoid of awkward moments. However, it would act as fodder for another 100 million views worth of drama and criticism. Chris likely believes that people
I'd have to see the whole thing. Like, that's weird. I feel like that's reading into it just because he wants
slowly
to.
adapt to
I don't know if I believe
appearance
that.
over time, but is this really going to happen? Well, maybe. It's difficult to say as the situation is fairly unique, especially when considering Chris's reputation and influence. However, if Chris continues to transition, would it be unreasonable to say that he could jeopardize some of the personality traits which made him a...
Yeah, you hear that, Chris? You should have thought about Mr. Beast's business brand before you decided to come out and be true to yourself. How fucking selfish. Oh my god. That's how this guy is presenting this. This is the worst ever. I don't like this guy.
Successful member in the first place. Perhaps the opposite will happen,
disliking
and he'll
this.
instead pick up new personality traits that better
I'm
resonate
totally
with the current
disliking
Mr.
that.
Beast
I do not like this video.
This was put forward in many comments supportive of Chris, who implied that there'll be millions of queer kids who look up to him.
Yeah.
Although this doesn't necessarily mean
And
that
that's
it'll
the
add
thing
any...
too. Mr. Beast has a huge fucking audience, and a lot of them are going to be kids. And I think this is going to be very important then for them to see somebody, you know, who's coming out and doing strongly and being supported. That's going to make a big impact. It's also going to piss off a little bunch of teenagers who, you know, think like just like their divorced dads or whatever, you know. Oh, little freaking teenage boys are mean.
Value to the videos. Mr. Beast has likely cultivated a massive LGBT audience, all of whom are already watching anyway, and if we've learned anything from Hollywood in recent years, it's that adding over-the-top LGBT characters for the sake of relatability rarely...
Oh, now he's a character. See, now we're getting into the idea that trans people don't exist. They're just characters.
works as intended, and is often nothing more than a distraction from the premise of the movie or video. On top of this, it can be uncomfortable and unrelatable for the silent majority, although as we have seen, a situation like Chris's does have the potential to create an otherworldly amount of discussion.
Yeah, totally. Mark says we've got a culture of cis white men who are still adolescents psychologically. We have that. We do genuinely have a lot of just like teenage boys that are really into entertain, like really into like all this stuff. And they have no other means of good influence.
Which could be seen as a benefit for the Mr. Beast brand.
Drama is good for growth, 100%. That would be an easy way to up my
So you're a Keemstar?
The problem is this type of situation is probably the last thing that Mr. Beast wants to attract, as he's forced to agree with Chris's position, as he has no way of manipulating the situation without being painted as the bad guy. It's a lose-lose situation for Mr. Beast. I think Jimmy is in an inescapable situation. If he kicks out Chris, cancelled. If he don't, his channel will die for real. An inescapable situation is a pretty good way of describing the drama, which is also why it deserves the harsh label of being a night.
I just really, yeah, I can't listen to him anymore. That was like the worst fucking video on the face of this planet, and the way it, like, so just like a publicity stunt. Like, yeah, okay. Let's say this, for instance. Me coming out as non-binary trans has done absolutely fucking nothing for my channel. Hasn't gave me new followers, viewers, or anything like that. It's not giving me enough money. If anything, it's actually making things quite harder to get my stuff out there, because the moment that people hear that I'm non-binary trans, they're out the fucking door. Okay? They don't want to listen to anything else I have to say. There's no grifting off of being trans. There's just none. There really isn't. if anything, it just like you just get shit. So to say that people are like using trans people as like a publicity stunt is just, well, yeah, I mean, I guess in a way, but it's not quite how it goes. Who is that? Oh, my roommate's home. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Shadow headed down for generations and generations. It's a lot how this works. Let's see. Ooh, this is so irritating. Okay, let's have a beer and some chips. Oh. You ever do that thing where like you open up the potato chips and it's like a big fart in the face? I like potato chips so fucking much. What I love about potato chips, they're universal. Whether you're not vegan or vegan, we all love fucking potato chips. Here for potato chips. When I was in my early 20s and I first tried to go vegan, I've had a history of like bad stomach problems, so please let's not get into that. But I just want to tell you this funny bit where when I first went vegan, like learned what I could and couldn't eat, I realized that I didn't have to change my diet at all because I was already just drinking beer, eating potato chips, and peanut butter sandwiches. Like that's it. That's all my diet consisted of. So I'm just like, I don't have to change a thing. I'll just keep drinking beer and eating potato chips and peanut butter sandwiches. Now we see why my gut couldn't help it. I have like a long history of trying to make it work. I do the best I can, especially in summer when there's more of a wide variety of vegetables. Basically, I just try to eat as much fruits and vegetables as possible, except for beans. See, I'm already like going down that. I hate putting myself in that position where like I support vegans, but I'm not some vegan myself. So like sometimes vegans are like, what the fuck? And I'm just like, okay, wait, no, listen, I'm doing the best I can. I'm a trans vegan. Okay. There's a pamphlet on it. Transitional veganism. Trans vegan. So this thing is so horrible. This guy that's been working with Mr. Beast in his shows like forever is now like coming out as non-binary and trans and just like totally enjoying their changes and stuff. And everybody is just attacking this shit. All these people are like, oh, YouTuber grows woke. Oh, this could be such a disastrous situation. Oh no. And like meanwhile, Mr. Beast is like, fuck you all. Fuck you all. And to target the man's, like, wife and kids, too, like, as he says on the situation with him and his, they got their kid Tuck, and his former wife, Katie. So Chris says, "This is my schedule for Tuck. I'm super lucky to have an understanding and accepting co-parent like Katie." So see, just because like people separate and divorce and stuff doesn't mean that they're like instantly... It doesn't mean that they instantly hate each other and there's just something sick and wrong and twisted. Like, it looks like they're doing just fine. So, accepting co-parent like Katie that works with me and communicates with me. We still eat a lot of our dinners as a family because we are a family. Our family just looks different than yours. The tweet's been deleted. That's sad. Probably because he got more crap. Sad. Well, I'm Team Chris. Go Chris. Chris looks fabulous. Fabulous Chris. Thank you. And get your nails done however you want, Chris. And that goes for you too, young cis men. Get your nails did. Who gives a shit? It doesn't mean you're trans or gay or anything like that. You can just have your nails done. In fact, there's a lot of like straight cis men that get manicures just because they don't get colors. They still go to the salon, get their shit done. So, what are we doing? Oh my god, why did I drop why did I drop viewers? So if we want to move on to something else that's ridiculous and getting into the book stuff. So hilarious. So, moving on to the Super Mario Brothers movie that just came out. Now, I haven't seen it, obviously, but, like, I heard it was just pretty much, like, mid. Like, it wasn't, like, that great. I mean, it's obviously made for little kids, so who cares? Katrina says, my mom always gave me grief for having short hair. Dude, my family did that to me, like, growing up. Like, because I wanted short hair in some instances and stuff, and they were always like, you can't cut it too short or you'll look like some of these slurs, I don't know if I could just say, but, like, they called me a dyke and stuff like that, a butch, which at the time, they were also associating that with, like, something really derogatory and nasty, so, like, always just gave me crap for that. I have always been non-binary and boyish. I just, non-binary is a phrase we didn't have at the time. But now that I have that language, I'm happy and free. So, butch was the worst word she used. Oh, that's sad. Don't get your hair cut too short. Oh, see, and do you see how, here's another good example of cis people argue about gender amongst themselves. Cis women, they'll argue, like, what's considered actually a woman and what's not. And men will do the same thing. It's so funny how this conversation is already existing, but then when they want to turn around on trans people, it suddenly seems more justified. Like, how many times do women, like, celebrate being, like, a woman? Like, how many times do men are like, yeah, I'm manly man, like, hyper masculized or hyper feminized? Like, somebody wants to be trans, suddenly it's like, oh, you're drawing too much attention to yourself because you're trans. That's all you want is attention. That's why you're trans. It's like, you people draw enough attention to yourselves already by being like, I'm a woman, or I'm a man. Illusion Shadow, good to see you. Listening for a while with phone in your pocket. Which pocket? I'm concerned about the pocket. Am I screaming at your crotch or your ass? I'm a little concerned about what pocket I'm screaming from now. The earphones are on, okay. So I'm pinching directly in your ear holes then. I was a little concerned there. Yeah. Mark's like, get your hair cut too short. The next thing you know, you've got a wallet on a pocket chain and inadvisable tattoos. Which pocket? Well, yeah, I mean, either I'm in the back pocket or I'm in the front pocket or am I like in a chest pocket? Like, chips. Delicious chips. Crafted for me. Made out of potatoes that no one wants to eat. It's real. Even though Lay's is just potato chips, they're like the nastiest fucking rotten ass potato chips that, or potatoes that like dogs won't even eat, and they'll just mill them up, mash them up, and make them into a paste for us to eat. Hot Pockets. That'd be funny. Illusion Shadow's like, you're in my Hot Pocket. Like, it's like sitting in there with some cheese and pepperoni. So which one's the worst pocket to be in? In the front or the back? I don't know. I guess I don't want to be in the back because... But it's not like both ways, so I can't really hear what's going on in the pocket. To which case I would protest I do not want to listen to anybody's farts. We're not sure about the front versus back. So, YouTube isn't sure if the Super Mario Brothers movie is woke or not. It's true. So many YouTube reviews over this movie right now, and they really cannot fucking decide. They can't decide if it's woke or if it's anti-woke. No joke. They can't decide if it's woke or anti-woke because, we'll get into it. Like I said, I haven't seen this, but, I won't be saying this. I am saying no. I just want to laugh about, like, the chaos that is ensuing. YouTubers seem confused by the simplicity of the Super Mario Brothers movie, unsure whether to label the children's animated film as woke or anti-woke. And this, my friends, is the ultimate, like, social war that I'm getting so fucking sick of. Because the only people that are complaining about woke people are fascists. Straight up. If you're complaining about wokeness or woke shit, like, when it's not, like, warranted or even, like, a part of anything, like, you are a fascist, you're dumb, sit down. So anyways, all these, like, little fashy YouTube reporters are just like, is it woke, or is it not? Nobody can fucking tell, because people are trying to, like, jump out of the gate and label it as either woke or anti-woke, that they're tripping over themselves, and everybody's looking like an idiot. So... you might be wondering why anyone would even view a movie like Super Mario Brothers. It's true. Through the lens of the culture war, but the online media ecosystem has become exceedingly divorced from reality. Even silly kid movies spark melodramatic reactions. Nothing is more hilarious than right-wing, like, reporters throwing a fit over children's shows. Like, over fantasy children's show. Like, why would you even give a shit? Why would you even pay the fuck attention? Because I'll tell you who's not really paying attention. Kids. They just see colors and things and stuff like that. At least, you know, some kids can, like, get, you know, the storyline and stuff. Me as a kid now, I just blank space and just, like, lights and sounds. '21st century is just an endless culture war over movies for babies. It really is. Critics apparently have a problem with Chris Pratt. The experts have deemed the new Mario movie a D, even though the audience clearly loved it. Both of these groups are obviously biased, but the disparity here reveals a major problem. The tomato meter is 53%, and then the audience score is a 98. Yeah, there's something wrong there when the critics are landsliding the whole thing. Whenever a new adaptation of a beloved IP is released, like Super Mario Bros., YouTube is flooded with video essays earnestly discussing the politics of a said adaptation. This phenomenon is by no means exclusive to reactionaries of anti-woke YouTube. LeftTube is brimming with essays dissecting the politics of, like, SpongeBob SquarePants, but anti-woke reaction videos have proved immensely popular with boasting millions of views. Yeah, because they all have the same fucking talking points, and people just love hearing the same shit over and over again. LeftTube is, if any of you didn't know, is like a it's like a, what do you call it? It's like a cynical website, like a sarcastic website, or satire website thing, where they just kind of generate outrage from, like, the left that's not, like, real. Like, they'll generate the idea that trans women are really upset about, what was it, Aretha Franklin's you make me or feel like a natural woman. Nobody said anything about that. Like, they just generate fake outrage, and then the right wing's conservatives latch on to that fake outrage that doesn't actually exist and make it seem like it's real. So it makes the left and it makes trans people and all that, like, look dumb when they weren't actually complaining about things in the first place. I hope that made sense. I shall explain it some more. So, overanalyzing kids' media can make for an entertainment video essay, but at its worst, anti-woke YouTube fuels reactionary backlash against diverse casting and a strong female characters, explicitly framing these qualities as intrusive and damaging to storytelling. When attempting to analyze Super Mario Bros., things got pretty silly because there's simply nothing there to analyze. The Super Mario Bros. Movie is a great bit of fun, better than it has any right to be, but the film is pretty much just a series of colorful action sequences that mirror segments of the game. An hour and 25-minute long outrage over Super Mario Brothers. Is this the guy I think it is? If so, I think my roommate watches this guy. Night's Watch? I think it is. Hold on, I gotta ask. My roommate watches this guy. This guy is a joke. Night's Watch. Pretty sure this guy is Mormon, actually, 100%. He does, like, reviews on different games and movies and things, like, totally nerd stuff, and I've seen some of his videos where he, like, reviews, like, weapons and things like that. I gotta see this, because I think it's right, like, the thing. YouTube. I love drama. I mean, I don't love drama, but this is funnier drama. Night's Watch? What was it? Night's Watch. Night's Watch. Mario. Who's this? Is this the Shad guy? Let's see.
Before we begin, we just want to ask you all if you enjoy our videos and love our stuff, to please support us. We've got members now.
Yes,
here,
memberships are on the channel.
As well as Patreon, Subscribestar, and Utreon.
Do you want to guess what the members are called?
So, this guy, he's Mormon. He's Mormon as hell. And he actually has really fucking sexist views. So they're mad because Peach is not portrayed as a damsel in distress and is more like, I guess, girl boss. So guys like this, I mean, look at them. Need I say more? These nerds have made an hour and 25-minute review of a children's movie. Like, I get there's nerd stuff and you want to watch cool things and stuff like that, but it's literally made for children. It's not made for dudes like you. It's not made for bearded guys like this. It's like you... just... This is what we're dealing with. This is the level. It's woke. Where's my fucking... What happened to my... Where did I put my... I lost my thing. I lost my, vape. Hold on. But no, just look at them. I want you to look at these men and tell me, like, how seriously are we supposed to take people saying that Super Mario is woke when these people like that? Honestly... This just explains people who hate wokeness. You see, they just want to live in the past. They just need to, like, wear robes and herd sheeps. Herd goats. They will buy me some things and I'll play with them. Thanks. I'm sorry, I can't talk with you right now. My roommate's trying to talk to me about them. I'm like, I can't talk to you about it now. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what? It's so funny. It's like, I know my roommate, like, watches a lot of reviews and stuff, like, video essays on movies and things, even, like, before he even watches them. So he'll, like say something, like an opinion, I'm like, I know where you got that from. Like, and I tell him, I'm like, man, you gotta stop watching video essays. You've got to be kidding me. What? Bowser is a simp and Mario is a punching bag. It's a kid's show. Ooh, hot. I'm burning my mouth. Because I'm eating food that's too hot. And now my door's gonna... You know what? Fuck it. Just probably stream with my door open. That's fine. We're settled. We're settled. Mario is a punching bag. Peach is a girl boss. We can't have that. Super Mario games are almost completely devoid of plot, lore, and character development, although with a franchise as diverse as Mario, there are exceptions such as Paper Mario. Generally, there is no story. Mario is tasked with defeating Bowser, rescuing the Princess Peach, and well, that's about it. In the film, Princess Peach is an agile fighter, brimming with confidence. She has been depicted this way before. While Mario is introduced as a fish out of water who has to learn how to be a hero. However, Peach is very friendly and supportive of Mario and doesn't really outshine him. Hence, anti-woke YouTube wasn't sure whether to be angry about it, and the reactions were amusingly divided. Oh, thank you, Moo. I have a cup full of Lumpias. That's funny. He brought me Lumpias in a cup. Like, they're just, like, in there with the sauce. That's pretty genius, but I'm just like, what? Oh, it's hot. Okay, hold on. Sorry. No, I don't see any emojis for what? I'm not saying anything. Emojis where? For what? I have no idea. Is this like some new feature? I'm lost. Yeah, these are good lupias. They got like rice and veggies in them. If you have to be on mobile to see? What are you seeing? I know there's been phone updates. Mine's old though. What do you mean? Now I'm curious about the hearts. What's with the hearts? Where's the emojis? No, I think I've seen a screenshot of it. I'm like, let me just see if I can see it on my end. Like, I don't know where I'm looking though. Oh. Oh. I see them on the app, but I don't see them like on my screen over here that I'm actually looking at. Can you do other things too? No, just hearts? Maybe like the party poppers? Hearts, hearts, hearts! Scary face. Worried, worried, worried. Embarrassed, embarrassed, cringe. Hearts. Cringe. Hearts, cringe. Okay, sorry. Okay, sorry. Now I know. I know what's happening. I just like can't see it. Maybe I can see it. Somebody hit it again. Let's see. Does it come up like, is it just on the app? I think it's just on the app because I'm not seeing it like on my thing. Like little floaty things. I wonder how I can get that to show up. Anyways. It's just on the phone app. Okay. That sucks. I want to see the hearts. I'm missing heart. I want to see people heart and cringe react and stuff like that. So the internet, all these essay lords are these essay perverts, as I should say, because they're just too obsessed with making essays. You can't just enjoy a fucking children's movie made for kids and not your bearded asses. One half makes Mario movie owns the libs videos, and the other half makes Mario is woke trash. So it's divided. On the one hand, people are reviewing it, are coming out and they're saying that Mario actually owns the libs in the movies. So they're painting it and reviewing it in that light. Meanwhile, there's the other half that makes out Mario to be like woke trash. So it's like two opposite things, neither of which are really happening. I think you've got a very like centralized movie and everybody's just making anything out of it that they want. One half makes, yeah. So it's a business strategy to maximize profits. The only winning movie or move is not to play their game. Oh, Lord. Stop it. YouTube is flooded with hundreds of thousands of tiny Rush Limbaughs, all regurgitating the totally childish and tacketing grievances that their audience want to hear. We disrupt the AM radio industry and now drive time full movie-length videos complaining about woke agendas. It's as long as the movie. Here. This. Make up your mind. Which one is it out of, like, these things? Come on. Girl boss. Mario goes woke. Mario gone woke. Too much girl boss. Insufferable girl boss. Like, is it necessary? Or, like, not necessary. Like, who gives a shit? Tired of these fools. Steven Crowder. Oh, God. What the hell does he have to say? Steven Crowder is a dumbass.
Global opening weekend record for animated films.
Nice.
$377 million on a $100 million budget. Nice. And let's, I think, we have a clip, actually, from the film.
I got this. No problem. Yes! Come on, Mario! Our big adventure begins now! Ah! Get it off! Get it off! Get it off!
Why Top Gun did so well.
Yeah.
And they're not even right-wing. They're just leave people alone and let them have a fantasy. That's why I can't watch anything on Netflix now. It's all brainwashing. Everybody knows that, but that's my same question. Why is Anheuser-Busch committing suicide? Why did Hollywood commit suicide? Why is the left doing this? Why are they like kamikaze?
Mario Brothers just set a global opening weekend record for animated films.
Nice.
$377 million on a $100 million budget. Nice. And let's, I think, we have a clip, actually, from the film.
I got this. No problem.
That was it. So he literally just hasn't... He didn't even say anything about the controversy. I would love to know at what point it became woke, not woke, just because I've been seeing them crying since they saw Peach wearing pants. So pretty much just Peach wears pants and, like, fights in some cases. The anti-woke guys were supposed to be mad at the Mario movie because they made Princess Peach feminist, but ultimately they decided championing movies for babies is too important to their political agenda. Super Mario Bros. Scored a record-breaking opening weekend, which isn't particularly surprising. It's an entertaining movie starring one of the most iconic video game characters of all time. The film's success inspired many right-wing culture warriors to run with the anti-woke narrative as a way to explain the film's popularity. Okay. The reason it's so popular is because... What? I'm still piecing this together in my head. That's what they're after. I get it now. It's the whole go woke, go broke thing. So, like, this is, like, breaking people's brains, I feel like. It's like woke is when the movies bomb. So if movies bomb, then that means it was too woke. Because, you know, if you go woke, you go broke. But if a movie's successful, then it's anti-woke. But there's, like, nothing really inherently woke or anti-woke about this Mario movie other than the fact that Peach is wearing pants, which is, like, too centrist of, like, a point to even, like, make an issue over. The growly, bearded, big guy was that InfoWars dickhead who tried to gaslight. Yeah. Are you talking about Steven Crowder? Or Alex Jones, you mean? Alex Jones is insane. There's a reason why I just don't even deal with Alex Jones. It's like, you can't even fucking go there. And he got majorly, got in so much trouble, not just, like, for the shit that he did, like, for that those families who lost their kids, but he, like, straight up lied in court, like, committed, what was it, perjury in court? Dudes had to pay big time. Hi, Ren. Stay away from my pupils. That's the lemon I'm gonna squeeze at you if you eat my pupils. It's lemon. I'm Lemon Jan. I got too many lemons. I can either be sweet or sour. I also need ideas on what to do with a large amount of lemons. I almost said melons. Lemons.
successful opening weekend record for animated films.
Nice.
$377 million on a 100.
This is the same thing?
Come on, Mario!
This is the same thing. We just watched this. Yeah, okay, I'm loving this. So the anti-woke people are saying the show is anti-woke because it did well. Because if you go woke, you go broke. Which that's not happening, so it's literally breaking their brains. The animated film about the most popular video game character of all time going on adventures with some of the most popular video game characters of all time is making lots of money just because it's anti-woke. That's not what's happening. That's what they think is happening. Assigning any political perspective to Super Mario might be a desperate reach, but justification for the anti-woke label seems to stem from criticism of John Leguizamo, who appeared in the 1993 live-action Super Mario's movie, and recently expressed disappointment that the new film failed to include a Latin character. Now, nobody disagrees with this, okay? Nobody disagrees with the fact that Chris Pratt is like not exactly what you have in mind for Mario. No comment. You keep your beak and talons away from me. I heard some hoeing last night. They messed up the inclusion, Leguizamo told TMZ. They disincluded just cast some Latin folk. We were 20%. Okay, so John Leguizamo is like mad that there wasn't like Latin people there. It was all white people. Okay, fine. I don't like that's a whole nother conversation. But that's not saying like that's not proof that Mario is anti-woke because they're not including Latin characters. That doesn't mean that. That's assigning too much to that. That's the anti-woke going, yay, a movie for us. It's like, no, it's not. It's like literally just a popular ass movie about video games, and they're making way too much out of it and thinking that it's for them. Like, how sad. And like, so the backlash against the casting of Chris Pratt as Mario was cited as another piece of evidence, as Pratt is disliked by a segment of the internet for allegedly attending a homophobic church and generally for his out-of-touch uncle vibes. I mean, Chris Pratt is like a big-ass Christian. Like when the new Jurassic Park came out with Chris Pratt, I followed his Facebook for a while, I guess just because, you know, it was fun, and he was doing some funny things, and he has like a farm and a ranch and stuff and some kids. I think I started following him on Facebook because he had a bearded dragon, and I thought it was really cute, and I wanted to see more of it. But Chris Pratt is very religious, and it got to the point where I'm like, okay, I don't need to hear your fucking Jesus spam. This is the party. Ren Fairy, thank you so much. It's so good to see you, by the way. Renaissance Fairy, thank you for the super chat. Let's do some lemons in the chat for Mary. And we had Katrina super chat earlier. Also lemons for Katrina and Ren Fairy. Lemons in the chat for Ren Fairy and Katrina. Get the lemon. Wait, do I not have access to my emojis? Oh, yeah, I do. Okay, I was like, what? Lemons. Grandma Dragon says, guess what? I got a phone call. I get to go out go to dinner with my daughter. Haven't done anything like that with just her in months. Congratulations. That's exciting. I hope that goes well. Put some lemons in the chat. Hello, MC Heavyset. The Rotten Tomatoes divide between audiences and film critics was cited as proof that the critics were blinded by their hatred of Pratt, even though Elon Musk took the line comment. Elon Musk, just shut up. Just shut up. Shut up forever. Shut up now. And in fact, Elon Musk, shut up like 10 years ago. Like, shut up. Shut up. Wow, the critics are so disconnected from reality. I mean, that's a very mid-generic fucking thing to say, Elon Musk. In fact, we didn't even need to hear it from Elon Musk. We probably could have heard it from like 20 other thousand people like tweeting the same exact thing. Keep in mind, this is a movie made for 8-year-olds. Thank you. Thank you. And their nostalgic parents. Okay, it's the nostalgic parents we're having a problem with then. They also need to shut up. Everything, it seems, has come from or a fuel for the culture war, especially children's movies. For what it's worth, I thought the Super Mario Bros. Movies was cute, and my kids loved it, and there really isn't anything else to say. That was the writer said at the bottom of it. I mean, hello, it's like, shut up. Just shut up, right? Shut up. Ooh, shut your mouth. You shut up 10 years ago. An outrage over Mario. Cut them open and pour salt on them and use them for cleaning your kitchen. I want to consume them. You can use them for freezer spells. Oh, that's cool. Freezer spell. There's some people I'd like to freeze just to make them shut up. Billionaires no more. Elon Musk, shut up. Billionaires no more. Elon Musk, shut up. Shut the fuck up, Elon. Elon, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, Elon. Elon, shut the fuck up. Sorry. I'd love it if people like come in the room right now. Just to me. Like, I'm doing this all day, okay? Elon Musk, shut up. Corvus, good to see you. Says, I'm waiting for Jan to release an album of songs from the live streams. Yes. This is so silly, you guys.
Oh, the Super Mario one.
These people are silly. Grown-ass adults mad over a film that wasn't even made for them. Like, hello.
That movie might be all right.
Really?
I've heard it might be all right. I think that, it's probably going to be everyone's going to say the same thing. It's all right, except for Chris Pratt not doing the Mario voice, which to me makes it not all right. So. Well,
I mean, is it not all right in like the ironic Brandon viewing way, or is it not all right in an actual cinematic way?
I personally don't think that a movie that's just like Nintendo making Mario into like a movie, it can be ironically enjoyed. I feel like that premise itself is like too corporate to be ironic, but that's just me maybe.
The main problem with this movie is that Princess Peach is turning the young girls of America into feminists.
Oh, so Princess Peach read Lean In, and now she's a boss bitch.
That is the fundamental problem that we're.
Jesus.
Dealing with.
All right, go off, Queen.
They should have made Mario black. That would have been really what we need.
I think so. As a society, that would have been good.
Then John Leguizamo would have watched.
Where did John Leguizamo just make a tweet about that? Which is sad because I guess he's got a point, but it really doesn't matter because it's a kids movie.
The movie.
Now you might be thinking, Anna, who cares? It's just some dumb movie. But you should care, and here's why. Because what they are doing is they're trying to brainwash society to think that that's how women are supposed to be. And this is dangerous because then we have women who go out there who think they're men, and they wind up getting hurt. They wind up getting raped.
Whoa, lady. Really? A cartoon character with pants leads to young girls getting R-worded. You heard it. Talk about a slippery damn slope. Lady, the top of the slide is on Mount Everest, and you slid directly to the bottom. Oh my god. Who is this lady? Wrong Think with Anna.
Wind up getting, because this is who's going to consume this content? Well, young kids, right? It's a cartoon. Adults, unless you're a loser, you're probably not going to want to watch that.
There is tons of adults. In fact, there's a bunch of adults that we just saw given an hour and 30-minute review over this movie made for children. So yes, adults are watching this, and adults are doing the one complaining. There isn't kids coming on here on Wrong Think and being Anna Perez and talking about this. They're not doing that. Nobody cares. It's just adults. You're the only ones complaining about this shit. How do they even come to these conclusions? That's what I mean by these people are mentally unstable. They've got an illness. They need help and some medication and some therapy to stop thinking this way.
Right? So, unless you're watching with your kids. But the reality is, this has actual ramifications on society. Young women see stuff like this, and it just brainwashes them to be a feminist, to be a badass feminist, and it's not realistic.
It's true. You know, I watched all seasons of Xena growing up, and look what happened to me. I watched too much Xena, the warrior princess. And now I'm trans. It's true. This is what happens, girls. Look at me. This is what happens to you. This is what happens.
Women are not as strong as men.
Xena was amazing. I loved it so much.
Women aren't the ones who are going to go out there and be like, watch this, let me kick ass. This like badass bitch culture is actually ruining women, and it's ruining society, and nobody knows where they stand anymore. So actually, it has real consequences. I'm sick and tired of seeing unrealistic things like that. Please make her a helpless princess again, okay? That's a lot more fitting for Princess Peach. Sorry.
You're just... I love how she was like... Adults are losers if they're like watching this. Like, maybe if you're a loser, it's like you're bitching about it. I think that like an adult watching it and enjoying it, that doesn't make them a loser. An adult bitching about it definitely doesn't make you look good, sis. Thank you, Anna Perez, but no thank you. You are absolutely ridiculous. What a dumb thing. What a dumb ass thing. These guys are just dumb. For an hour.
World is like sentient.
But can you do that in the game? Because I've seen those like bomb and the smaller ones. They show the
that guy's Mormon. He's straight up Mormon. Like, and he's sexist too.
Small ones in the movie. But in the game, can you get those ones to chase you?
Or you
like, I think I heard him have a problem with like the women in Willow because they were like too warrior-like or some shit like that. I'm a princess and I carry a sword. See? Renaissance is a princess carries a sword. Xena carried a sword. Okay.
But that just knocks them down.
So here's the thing, right? Some games are 2D and like side-scroller platform.
Oh no, please don't explain that. These men. I actually have watched some videos by this one guy here in the blue. He does videos that I think are interesting where he like does reviews of like certain kinds of like medieval weaponry, which is interesting, and he's kind of funny there, but he like needs to stick to his own damn lane and like not talk about like what women's roles are in society, because all of his ideological beliefs from Mormonism, which is meant to enslave women as sex slaves. So, yeah, we're not going to listen to him when he talks about women. If we want to see him test out a broadsword, sure. Damn right. BRB. Yeah, anybody can, like, pop in and pop out. Like, it's just a big old, like, fest. I don't know. I'm kind of liking these on Fridays. We still need a good poll, though. We need a good poll. Finding Christ in the Ozarks. Oh. Holy shit. You know what? Since we're on this topic of wokeness and stuff, let's check this out. I started watching this, and I think I got like halfway through, and I got distracted with something else, because that happens to me sometimes. But I know it's really good, so I think this is actually a good segue, because we're talking about this weird, frivolous war of, like, what is this woke? Is this anti-woke? Like, all that shit. Like, let's watch what Lumi has to say on this situation. You know, my favorite gal here. She's like,
it's time once again.
My favorite. In fact, she has a plushie that's come out. I'm like, I want it so much. Every time people release things, I'm like, it's like I just paid all my bills and shit. Like, well, can't afford it. Ah! She has like a plushie though. It's really cute. Anyways, we all ready to watch Lumi? Let's do it. Let's learn about wokeism. Or should we wait for Mark? I don't want to have to wait for people. Is anybody eating any snacks tonight? Like, what you got? I had some lumpias with some sweet sour sauce. I have some potato chips and some beer. What's going on with you all? What you got going on? Tell me your snacks. Tell me your snacks, or else. Maria's got popcorn. That's my favorite. I sadly don't have popcorn on me right now. Ramen. Ramen. Still good. I feel like it's like, I don't know, like food you eat when it's the apocalypse. Unless it's like good like fancy ramen. If it's just like a pack of ramen noodles, I'm like, it's the apocalypse. You're struggling. Renaissance Fairy says, I have to get my wash soon. Everyone's like, hold up. I gotta switch my laundry. Actually, I need some more. I need a paper towel or something. Blow my nose on. Alright, hold on. Take a couple minutes. Smoke them if you got them. Hey, Hope. You see, you got the lemons. Lemon. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. That's how we do it here. By the way, everybody, we have a new emoji. It's lemons. And I also updated the disco ball. It's a little shinier. A little shinier than the other one. I'm so sad you can only see the hearts and stuff on the app. BRB 5 minutes. Let's see. What can we kill time on while we let some people like come back in? Ron DeSantis? Fuck no. So sick of this dude. DeSantis, DeStinky. Ron DeStinky. Ron DeStinky signed legislation on Thursday that would ban most abortions after 6 weeks in Florida. That is ridiculous. You know why that's ridiculous? There's a lot of women that don't even fucking find out that they're pregnant for like 7 weeks sometimes. That happened to me. I had a birth control implant in me for 2.5 years. It stopped just working, and I didn't realize I was pregnant because I wasn't expecting it. I was already on birth control, so I just thought I was having like a lot of stomach problems, and then it turns out I was pregnant. So, but that was like 7 weeks. So like, it's so ridiculous to assume that every woman can plan ahead and know that they're pregnant when they're 6 weeks. Doesn't make any sense. It's gonna do some bad things for people. And what is he? Ugh. And if you get pregnant, through our wording or like incest, you actually have to prove documentation like that prove that happened. So if you don't, you're gonna be forced to carry the child. So Ron DeStinky, he's stinky. He's no good. He's stinky and sweaty. Go fuck yourself, DeSantis. Like, we need this goobery Jar Jar Binks looking bitch telling us what to do with our bodies. This is like the kind of guy making like decisions who like thinks like people can just hold periods like your menstruation. Like, just hold it. Just hold it in your menstruation. Like, don't go. Just hold it in like pee. Like, it's that kind of guy. There are seriously men out there who believes you can just like hold in menstruation like pee. You can just hold your blood in. And just clench it off. No, really shouldn't be parents. Just the same old arguments again. See, I'm not ready for weed yet. I'm gonna stay chill. So luckily, Supreme Court has somewhat restored ability or, access to like this abortion pill. But it's kind of like just stopping it for a little bit. So it's not really saying that it's, not going to be banned soon. There's just a lot of issue with the whole abortion shit already. And it just instantly makes me angry. And mainly because like I've been through it before and I know exactly like it was necessary for me. And if I would have been forced through pregnancy, I wouldn't be here before you today and not just here in front of the camera. Like, I don't think I would have made it through the pregnancy because I would have, if you can't terminate one thing, terminate it all type of thing. Thank God I was not forced to carry a child. And I never want to carry a child, but I do want children. I want to be a dad. Somebody else can carry it. And I will do just fine on my end without having to squeeze a baby out of myself. Which will never happen. Ever. 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 I don't want to do that. I don't know. What about any of you? Do any of you have kids or want kids, or like, what are your feelings on kids? Maria says, glad you were not able to go through that. Me too. I seriously would have had a, let's see. I would have had a 6-year-old kid by now. Can you imagine me with a 6-year-old child right now? Like, maybe in 10 years, that's when I'll have a 6-year-old child, but like, I am a child myself. That just wouldn't even be good for either of us. A 6-year-old baby. You know what I do want, though? I'll tell you what I do want. Oops, I spelled that wrong. You know what I do want? I want a Wheatie. I want a Dachshund. I want one so bad. I want one now. They are cute. They are adorable. And they look squeezy and precious. Back. Mark says, I became a dad at 45. See, that's 10 years away from me. I feel like that's like my mid-40s is when I'm gonna like go for the dad stuff. I'm gonna be a dad in my mid-40s. I've got 10 whole ass fucking years. Hey, radical response. Look at the puppy. Look at the puppies. They're too cute. I want all of them. Dachshund puppies. Puppies. I want to see the puppies. Let me see the puppies. Is it gone? Oh no, there it is. Ow. The dachshund puppies. I wish you were my dad. I'm not ready to be a dad yet. Ow, you my little feetsies. Ow. I just want to kiss its belly. Little wiggly teeth, little wiggle feet. Kiss its little belly. Ooh, wait, no. Wait, no. I don't know if we'll get copyrighted for that noise in the back, but I just want to see the dogs. Wow, puppy. It's like a little Coca-Cola bottle. You know, like a big 2-liter of Coca-Cola. Like, I just want to take the sleeve of the Coca-Cola 2-liter bottle and, like, slip it on the... Wow. They're so precious. He's swimming and he's swimming and he's swimming. He's got boots! Oh no! We can't walk in the boots. Oh. They're so stinking cute. So fucking cute. He's just a going and a going and a going and a going, and he will not stop. It's got like a piggy toy. Oh no, time for sleep. Ow. I will have this dog. This dog will be mine. Oh yes, it will be mine. I really am serious. I'm gonna get one of these. Like, I'm not just saying it like it's, like I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna go, Jan's gonna have a puppy. They're so precious. Just joke. I am. It's just like, honestly, like, I'm gonna be real. It's not gonna be an adoption process. I'm literally gonna have to purchase from a breeder, which I don't necessarily condone. But you know, when you're going for something specific, I just gotta try and find like a really like, I don't know, like a good breeder, not like a puppy mill. I will I know. I swear. I will that. Now that, not coming out trans. Coming out trans doesn't make me make more money. It doesn't give me a lot of attentions. If I get a puppy, fuck yeah. A little doggy. Oh, Roo. Woo. 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 Woo woo. Wow. Just the tail. Ah! Gotcha. All right. There's our little break. Now we're going to watch, since we just talked about the issue with Mr. Beast's friend Chris coming out as non-binary trans, people being like, oh, you're just doing it for the woke, you know, to make money off of being woke. And then we watch the stupid, like, clash between, like, YouTube reviewers of the new Mario movie trying to determine if it's woke or anti-woke based on Peach wearing pants. It's a child show, so let's get into wokeism, smokeism. That's what I'd rather talk about, smokeism. Let's do it. You missed the puppies, Ren. We looked at puppies. We looked at puppies 'cause they're cute.
It's time once again to stop pyramid schemes, scams, and other forms of corruption.
Let's do it.
If you missed your chance to pick up the original Illuminati pyramid plushie with an eye out for corruption, don't fear, she's back and better than ever. Makeship is doing a time warp campaign, and they're relaunching some of the original campaigns, and my plushie is one of them. So if you missed your chance about, what, 2.5 years ago at this point, to grab the original pyramid plushie with the magnifying glass, she's back, but only for about 2 weeks. So if you want to get your hands on one, head on over to makeship.com or just click the link in the description box to go right to my plushie. Legos have gone woke. Disney has gone woke. Even M&Ms have succumbed to the woke mind virus, but
everything is woke.
What does woke even mean?
We don't fucking know.
Let's ask Bethany Mendel, who wrote an entire book on the object horrors of woke culture.
Not her as a person.
I'm sure she'll have
like
a clear and concise explanation. Bethany?
Would you mind defining woke? Because it's come up a couple times, and I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
So, I mean, woke is sort of the idea that this is going to be one of those moments that goes viral. I mean, sorry, it's hard to explain in a 15-second soundbite.
Yeah, look, your time.
Okay.
That makes me think of the kid, like the way she just stuttered. It makes me think of the kid, like, what was it, like, kid, have you ever had a dream? This kid. Oh my God. First, we got to go back and watch, like, what she said. And then you'll understand what I mean.
Sort of the idea that this is going to be one of those moments that goes viral. I mean, sorry, it's hard to explain in a 15-second soundbite.
Yeah.
It's this kid right here. It's this kid.
Have you ever had a dream that you want him to do you so much you could do anything?
Yes, I have dreams like that all the time. So funny. That's a kid nailed it. Like, completely nailed that.
Look, your time.
Okay. Well, so it seems like that helped absolutely no one, but that's okay. We have a bunch of other people we can turn to who consistently discuss this new detrimental phenomenon. Let's turn to Fox News. They seem to be the ones that talk about this the most. So obviously they should have the best.
Yeah, it's a little concerning when somebody writes a whole book on wokeism and can't even offer like a 10 to 15 word like definition like on the spot. I mean, did she not prepare or anything? I mean, I get people get nervous when they have to speak. I do that all the time. I'll freeze up and forget what I have to say and stuff. But like, you can still like write stuff down. Like, I don't know, but to have written a whole fucking book and then just be caught off guard like that, it just seems a little weird. Hey, thank you so much, Radical Response, for the super chat. Lemons in the chat, lemons in the chat, lemons in the chat for heretical response. Lemons in the chat, lemons in the chat, lemons in the chat for heretical response. Thank you so much, I appreciate that. Lemons in the chat, lemons in the chat, lemons in the chat, lemons in the chat. You know, that's a good poll. Since we're like so focused on lemons. Let's see. Do you like lemons? Should we do that? Do you like lemons? Is that a good poll or is that not fair? Do you like lemons? Yes, no, kind of. We'll try that. Lemons in the chat, lemons in the chat, lemons in the chat. If I make I'll make like a mint. I'll make a mint emoji with like a circle and like a line through it, like a, you know, like no mint. But if I do that, I think people will be like, what? No weed? Like, what do you mean?
That's definition, right?
But it's sort of like the Supreme Court definition of pornography. You know it when you see it. So the Democrats want to get you in an argument where you're having to define wokeism as if the Webster's Dictionary is defining it. And that's not what it is. It could be a feeling. It could be a sense.
According to Fox News, woke is more like a feeling. It isn't something that has to be defined. I got it. Okay. But what type of feeling? Is it the type of feeling I get when I pull my nachos out of the microwave and find that the cheese hasn't melted quite right? No? Okay, so this is why we need definitions, people, because direction's unclear. But for people who can't just seem to define what exactly woke is, they certainly seem pretty damn terrified of it. Over the last few years, we've seen politicians...
That's weird. Fox News can't define what woke is, but they're always fucking afraid of it.
Journalists and just normal everyday people use this word to describe virtually everything that has remotely changed since 1950. Oh no, women can work now, support themselves, and get a credit card? It's the curse of the woke mind virus. Ooh. But like, seriously, people can go to school and learn about the real history of the United States, and oh my god, we're not as perfect as the propaganda is, and we're actually kind of a terrible country too, just like every other fucking country.
A lemon lump? Oh my god. A lemon loppy lump? That is such a good idea. Because I make loppy lumps, you know, my little unicorn balls? I should make like a lemon one. It's a lemon drop lop. The lemon drop lop.
Oh my god, it's blasphemy. No, wait, no, not blasphemy. It's woke behavior. And while all of this is relatively amusing to watch, there are some very real dangers associated with this new uptick in outrage over seemingly meaningless things. As people are screaming out of their frickin' skulls about M&M's desexualizing a damn candy, others are using the exact same rhetoric to abolish DEI programs, enact anti-trans legislation, and ban books with no regard for the consequences. Sure, it's all a stupid, made-up circus act, but there's a lot more going on behind the razzle-dazzle of it all that should certainly make us stop and think for a second. So today, I want to talk about it. Why did the word woke suddenly become the calling card for every right-wing grifter in the world? What are they really saying? And
because
what are the
they're
consequences?
sad.
I'm the
They don't have
Illuminati.
anything else better
This
to do.
is the corporate casket.
Corporate casket. Right back at you. I gotta use the bathroom.
Before the word woke was co-opted by people who clearly have no idea what it means, it actually had a pretty easy definition, as well as a pretty self-explanatory origin. In essence, woke was vernacular commonly used in the Black community that simply meant being aware of the world around you. The term stay woke has been around for literally decades and has been used consistently throughout time as a way to describe waking up to reality or being aware of the dangers of society. It just meant that you knew what the fuck was going on. It really was that simple, and for the better part of our history, it was a relatively unused term for anyone outside of the Black community. But as the dawn of widespread social justice campaigns came about, such as Black Lives Matter, the word has been progressively co-opted and appropriated. Now, for liberals and other left-leaning folks, the meaning has remained relatively the same. It's just becoming more indicative of someone that is at least relatively aware of the hierarchies and oppression in society, though that didn't mean people who use the word actually did anything with this knowledge. And yes, my dear liberals and softy centrists who know what's happening in the world and do absolutely nothing to try and fix it, I'm talking to you too. But for right-wing people, the word woke took on a whole new meaning. The Atlantic argues that the word is now used as just another descriptor for progressive or liberal, but in a derogatory manner. But I have a different view of it. When we look at just some of the ways that this word has been used, we start to actually see the bigger picture. In September 2022, the first trailer for the live-action version of The Little Mermaid starring Halle Berry was released.
Shut up. You know what? I am so goddamn excited for The Little Mermaid movie. Like, I am so beyond excited. Like, you cannot fucking pry me away from this. I will see it in the theater by myself amongst like a bunch of like little kids. I'm so excited for it. I love Little Mermaid. Every time I watch the new trailer that just came out with her in it, like not the very first initial tease, but like just very recently they released like a full trailer. Like, I can't, it's just like a couple minutes. I can't get through it without like starting to cry, because like I love it that much, and she sounds so beautiful and looks so beautiful. I have Little Mermaid tattooed on my arm right here, so I like Little Mermaid's been my favorite since it came out. Like I had to been what, kindergarten when it came out in 1995. I was born in 1988. Came out in 1995. I was so obsessed with it, I had to watch it every single fucking day. Every single day. Several times a day. Several times a day. I cannot wait to see this movie. I'm so excited for it.
Almost immediately, people started to collectively lose their damn minds, claiming that Disney had officially gone woke by casting a Black Ariel, who, remember, and might I add, is a made-up character in a kids movie. Mermaids are not real, but apparently we had an issue with race of a fictional creature that does not exist in reality. But anyway, and actually no, not anyway, as another side tangent, I remember reading something around this time of like an article or something that came out that if mermaids were actually real, their skin actually would be darker. They would not have pale skin and red hair like Ariel was depicted like 50 years ago or whatever. Because of like interacting with the sun and everything, they would naturally kind of start to tan skin and the melanin would become more present. Anyway, now I digress. Let's go back.
Not only that, people are getting after the idea that, Little Mermaid's supposed to be Danish. I don't know if y'all realize this. There's Black Danish people. There's also Black Danish people with red hair. Also, it's a fantasy character. It's a fantasy character, and I don't give a shit because, like, the actress that they chose to play Ariel looks like Ariel. She looks like her. She looks like she has the same. She's got the same fucking essence and like demeanors and just like inflections. Like I see that and I'm like, that's Ariel. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's not like she's presenting the character in any like new way that we had like with a new personality. Like, she looks like Ariel, like her face shape, like her nose shape and like her lips and like her big beautiful eyes. Like, she looks like a cartoon. She looks like Ariel. She looks really animated. I think it's very beautiful. This is why I will punch people over this movie. And not over the black reason that, you know, there's a black actress, but just because I love the movie, and I will punch anybody who just hates anything about it at all. You know what? It's like, I'll get my tattoo refreshed up, and I'll have it like the actress, like, I'll have it as the black actress. I'll update my tattoo, and my mermaid will be black. That would be funny. People looking like people getting all outraged. I'm like, this is the real mermaid. The real one. She does have the look, like, perfectly.
The new Ariel trailer was met with nearly 2 million dislikes and a constant barrage of comments saying that...
Also, the original voice actress for Ariel came out in huge support of her, like, huge support. Saying that Ariel is like a spirit, like an essence, and she matches it perfectly.
Disney had gone too far. Suddenly, everyone in the world had an opinion about the movie and was shocked that people would not stick to the original Little Mermaid. Some claimed it was scientifically inaccurate to cast Bailey in the role. Everyone's best friend, Matt Walsh, who I had to recently learn who this fucker was, said this.
I hate Matt Walsh.
If anything, not only should the Little Mermaid be pale, she should actually be translucent. If you look at deep-sea creatures, they're like translucent. They have no kind of pigmentation.
Shut up, Matt Walsh. You're fucking losing it over a kid's cartoon.
Whatsoever. And okay.
Why are we trying to get scientifically accurate and, like, technical? Why are we trying to be scientifically technical over a fucking cartoon? Or I'm just like a fantasy show. Well, technically, they should be translucent. Like, nobody's going to deal with that. Like, nobody's, like, there's no mermaids, okay? That just kind of thwarts the whole concept. Like, mermaids don't even exist. So why are you trying to say and not say, like, what kind of skin they'd have?
So I'm not going to act like some sort of fancy fish expert, but
we
Google
don't know
is the thing that
what
exists,
kind of skin
so
mermaids would have because they don't exist. If they did, we would have more. It's like crypto racism. I know. It is crypto racism. That's so, and that's, like, racism is already fucking horrible enough. Do we really have to, like, distract everybody with, like, crypto racism?
Look it up. So, type. Oh, look at that. There are multiple fish that live at the bottom of the ocean that are, in fact, not translucent and are, in fact, black. This includes one that does look absolutely terrifying, by the way. It's named the Atlantic wolffish. Maybe Matt should go ahead and try and give that one a cute little pet. I'm sure nothing bad will happen to his hand or any other important bodily appendages during the course of his education process. Now, to be clear, his argument is obviously insane, and I would again like to point out that she is in fact a mermaid, which does not exist, okay? So sorry to hurt your feelings if you didn't know that yet, but mermaids are not real. So this whole argument over a fictional creature is actually fucking insane. But let's move on to another example, shall we? Just a couple months ago, Disney decided to create a new show with everyone's favorite adorable marshmallow robot, Baymax. In it, a scene with the squishy bundle of joy depicts Baymax searching through menstrual products and asking for assistance with which to choose. Almost immediately, everyone and around the aisle steps in to help, including a person wearing a transgender flag t-shirt. So people automatically assume...
Not a trans person appearing into this, like, 2 seconds into this fucking cartoon.
That they were a transgender male. In all, it was an adorable spot, and I'm sure it made people feel seen. But Brett Cooper, the new darling of Daily Wire, was in her studio meticulously designed to look like a streamer's bedroom, decided that the inclusion was the worst display of wokeness ever in the history of ever. Obviously, this was Disney's gay agenda, a company that had meticulously created heterosexual romance for decades.
What about heterosexual agenda? We don't ever hear about that. We don't talk about the heterosexual agenda. The het agenda, which is to make everybody heterosexual and just like them and have no diversity in this fucking planet and be completely boring. God.
All of a sudden has a gay agenda. Sure thing, babes. Whatever makes you sleep better at night. Then, of course, there is the recent...
What a dumb waste of Holos. What a dumb waste of Holos when we all have shattered apart to create this beautiful Holos and we don't even get to experience it, like, go through it. It's like some people have a dumb idea that in order to reach a teleological ending, We all just have to become the same fucking personality and have the same fucking ideas and think the same way. That's not what synchronization and of people and humanity is, and all of us coming together and having a teleocratic ending. That's not what that means. Now, keep in mind, it's like all of us singing together. Okay, look at where we are now in the world. Look at where humanity is. We're just getting to a state in humanity where we're able to exchange ideas very rapidly over the internet. The teleocracy or the teleo ending that we're reaching for is not going to happen in our lifetime. It's going to happen in like billions of years, okay? When the entire universe gets its shit together to synchronize, it's not going to happen right now with a culture war. It's not going to happen by making us all think precisely the same, look the same, act the same, okay? That's not what that means. That's not what synchronization means. We can all be diverse as individuals, and we can have a teleocratic goal. Teleological goal at the end. Like that's a thing. It's called being an individual and synchronized as a whole at once. That's what we're all for. But these people who are like, there's a gay agenda, it's like, what about the hetero agenda? They're trying to make us all the fucking same. Like, stop it. You're creepy.
Legos disaster. So run for your lives. Legos has gone woke. Blah 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 blah. They have inclusive Legos now. So Legos recently announced that they would expand their character range to be more representative. Some characters will have Down syndrome, limb differences, anxiety, and more. Don't ask me how they're going to depict a Lego with anxiety. I have no idea.
I want a Lego character that's like just looks frazzled, like the anxiety, like that would be me. The cis agenda. Right.
But it's still very cool. Basically, a lot of people will now have a character that actually represents them. And to Fox News,
an anxiety character. An anxiety character. Yes, finally, something that actually represents me. Not just the trans Lego. I want an anxiety Lego. Just a really frazzled looking fucking Lego.
They found it divisive and terrible. One host said that Legos were causing a divide in the country. Sorry, I meant to say that with like a straight face, but I can't. Anyway, here's the quote. Republicans think it's insane that they are forcing identity politics in Legos. Democrats are upset that they didn't make a drag queen stripper.
No, they aren't. Nobody said that.
To be honest, I don't think Democrats even remotely care what Lego.
Democrats never said we're mad because there's not a drag queen stripper. Like, what the fuck? You see what I mean by the right wing just makes up the outrage themselves? They make it up. They make it up that the left and Democrats are outraged about something when they're not. No way the anxiety Lego will stack with others. No, it's way too shaky.
Is doing, you're just trying to create controversy on the dumbest issue in the world when it literally does not exist, except maybe in your head. And of course, we obviously cannot forget one of the most recent woke controversies from good old Candace Owens, who recently lost her absolute shit because an underwear company portrayed a person in a wheelchair within their ads. I'm serious.
And the company, I remember that the company was literally releasing a line for people in wheelchairs because it's really difficult for them to put on underwear. They can't even get the basic, like, garment that they need. Like, so this clothing company releases a design of underwear specifically to help, like, people in wheelchairs put it on. You know, like it's got some snaps or zips on the fucking side or something, I don't know. But, like, how can you be mad at that?
In her absolutely mindless rant, she literally said that representation is not important. The real kicker, Skims, the company she was criticizing, was making an entire line of accessible underwear, and that's why they were showing someone in a wheelchair. So newsflash, Candace, some people need things made in a particular way so they can actually use them. A company making inclusive products has absolutely nothing to do with you. If you're that opposed to underwear, don't wear any. There is a thing called commando. You can get on board with that if that's your cup of tea, but leave other people be.
No. And don't tell us. If Candace Owens is commando, please don't tell us. None of us want to be that close to your black hole where you suck souls in and kill the joy in every little thing, such as just simply underwear for people with disability.
Now that we've gone through just a few examples, have you started to notice a trend? Woke isn't going against liberals or liberal policies, it's going against people. The Little Mermaid is woke because she's black. Baymax is woke because there's a trans character. And Legos is woke for simply acknowledging that disabilities exist. Woke has become yet another symbol for people different from white, cis, straight, able-bodied people. Woke is just another dog whistle so people who are racist, transphobic, homophobic, and sexist don't have to come out and say what they really are. That's all it's become. And when you think about that definition, then the manner of how they're using it becomes that much scarier. While they go off about the dumbest things in the entire world, this rhetoric is not limited to stupid cable TV shows and idiotic video streams. It's worked its way into a variety of social structures, and that's where the real danger comes in. Public schools in the United States have gone woke. And of course, we all know what that actually means. Over the last few years, we have seen an unprecedented attack on the American public education system and the woke teaching values that some claim exists. Leading the charge is the Twitter account Libs of TikTok. Every day, they post allegedly shocking videos of teachers who basically just show an ounce of support for their students who are not straight, white, or cisgender. Through the use of inflammatory statements, Libs of TikTok takes everyday instances of teachers simply trying to do their jobs and make them sound as if these teachers have told their kids that, like, Santa Claus doesn't exist or something. Like, God forbid teachers mention that gay, transgender, or non-binary people exist, or if they fit in any of those categories themselves. While this whole thing feels outrageously ridiculous, it has caught fire, and the account has roughly 2 million followers on Twitter. Now, we are seeing the effects of this as the trust between parents and students has severely diminished. It doesn't help that companies like PragerU are also telling parents that their kids are being, and I quote, absolutely damaged by the education system. The Heritage Foundation, which has been the leading voice in false science and false panic, has also stepped in and written op-eds claiming that woke capital is transforming education into a field for transgender activism.
Oh no.
According to them, schools are instructing students to trust gender ideology over trusted adults. Teachers are allegedly encouraging students to socially transition at school and keep changes strictly under wraps from parents, which in some cases might be true. But why? That's the part they usually miss. For a kid to feel safe discussing their personal feelings with teachers, they need to do so without fear that those personal feelings would be disclosed to others without their permission. How would you feel if you told someone a secret and they immediately went to tell someone else who may put you in danger if they were to know that secret?
It's so stupid. The motion to make it so that schools have to tell children's parents if they overhear them identifying with another gender. If your child is keeping a big part of themselves from you as a parent, if your child feels like they have to only express that at school with their friends and not with you, that's your fault. You are the problem. You are the problem why your kid doesn't open up to you and that your child is afraid of what you might do and say. The last thing they need is for the school to get involved, out a kid to their parents when they're not ready yet, and this becomes a major issue. I mean, do you not realize how many freaking homeless trans kids and gay kids, LGBTQ kids, how many homeless kids there are because their parents are like, oh, you're this? Get the fuck out now. Now you're homeless. So that's what I see. I see these fucking schools are like, oh, I think it's a good idea that we tell this kid's parents they're gay, and that way they can be homeless. Like, really? Y'all are just fucking messed up. It's so ridiculous. The amount of, like, young LGBTQ kids in crisis. Yeah, the Trevor Project is one of many places where you can support for trans youth. Just drives me things. Also, yeah, Cassie says, also, teachers don't know how much parents know about their kids. There's a ton of shit about myself that my parents never even, like, knew about. And you know what? If they did know about it, if I back in like high school, junior high or high school, realized that I was non-binary and trans, if my mom and dad found out about it, I'd be fucked. They would lose their shit. Dude, those people gave me like the runaround and made me feel so horrible because I wanted to go to homecoming with my gay friend. They're like, that is so disgusting. What will people think of you? What will the church think of us? And like, that was already a huge deal. I wasn't even coming out as gay or anything like that. I just had a friend. Getting a little triggered there. I think I'm getting a little triggered because I had really abusive parents, like, and I could just see some kid in a similar situation and that being the absolute worst thing for them in their lives for the school to out them to their parents. Glad I have the armor I don't have that armor to handle it now. This shit still triggers me. I'm still messed up.
Transgender
I've got
kids in particular.
PTSD. I'm on antidepressants. I mean, I'm doing the best I can, but like, I don't know, kids don't need that.
There are some of the most likely children to be forcibly kicked out of their...
Thank you, though, heretical response. I know you meant that as a compliment. But, you know, like, I mean, it's just like trans people aren't bulletproof, you know.
Homes by their parents. That is a calculation both by the student and the teacher that they need to do in their minds before they decide if they want to come out to their family or not. And for some parents, this can feel like a stab in the back. Yes, parents have the right to know what's going on with their children, but do they have the right to know what's going on with their children if they're going to use it against them? I don't think they do. But that's not for me to decide. As we speak, there are multiple lawsuits in the works to decide if teachers will be legally obligated to tell parents if students are showing signs of gender non-conforming behavior. And while they claim this is all about parents' rights, I see it a little bit differently, as do others. Kel Olson, who is a staff attorney at Lambda Legal, says, I can't help but recognize that although parents' rights has been proposed as the basis and framework for a lot of these things, a large concern is not necessarily parents' rights, but parental fear of LGBTQ people and trying to control access to that by young people. And here's the thing, if you are a safe person for your kid to speak to about how they're feeling, they'll do that. And if they feel the need to hide it from you, then it sounds like you have some issues that you need to work out.
If your children feel the need that they have to hide something from you, or they get the sense that they're going to get in trouble if they don't, you've done something there. Okay? That's something you need to work on as a parent. If you're making it an emotion of fear for a child to be open and honest with you, that's a problem. You're the adult. They're the child. You should be making a safe environment for them. And if you don't, you know, don't be surprised when your kid hides things from you and hides the best parts of them from you because they don't want you to have any involvement. They're trying to develop a sense of self without your judgment and scrutiny. Cassie says also teachers are mandated to report abuse. There are definitely some parents you do not tell negative things to because they will hurt their kid. Yeah, it's like when you report abuse, like you don't want to really go straight to the parent and be like, hey, your kid said they're hitting you. And they're like, oh, no, everything's wrong or everything's just fine. And then the person, you know, the adult leaves and then it's just the kid and the parent. And then it's like, you little son of a, can't believe you're telling them I'm hitting you. You want me to hit you over something now? Like, that does not work well. Okay. There's a tedious, difficult process with this stuff, and if there has to be some nuances in a certain way you go about kids getting abused, it should go about the way of that your kids coming out as trans. Frankly, I think schools should just mind their own fucking business as long as the kid's sitting down in their seat and doing their schoolwork. Like, who the fuck do you care if they're trans or not? It's none of your business as a teacher or as a superintendent or whatever. Not your business.
Not on the teacher, and it sure as hell isn't on the kid. It's kind of on you as the adult to, you know, be the adult. Speaking of that statement, isn't that what all this outrage around wokeism is really being used for? To shift the blame? Before everything was about how schools were going woke with gender ideology, people were attacking schools going woke because of CRT being taught in grade school, which once again, it's still not. Critical race theory is a legal theory that's usually taught in law school. It's not for 5th graders. In reality, it wasn't about CRT at all, it was simply about teaching the realities of United States history, which, newsflash, it consists of a lot of horrible things done by white people to black people and other people of color to oppress them. It's not about making people feel bad or making 5th graders feel like they should have to apologize to every person they see for racism being a thing that exists. It's simply about learning the history of the country, how that history impacts us now, and how we can maybe be better in the future. For people that consistently complain.
By the way, if you want to read a really good book about American history, I think I've shared this before. Where's my Kindle? There it is. It's by Howard Zinn. And it's called A People's History of the United States. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on Amazon Kindle. I don't think this is the right price because I've got what is it? Premium Amazon, I think. But so check out this book, A People's History of the United States, from 1492 to present, and it's present as in like probably early 2000s, but it's extremely good. If you want to know the real history of like the American states, that's not whitewashed at all, and is just very right down to the nitty gritty of the colonization and the slavery and the way that America was built off the backs of other people. This is a really good book to undo all of that stupid, crappy 5th grade history class shit. Like, you will actually get a better understanding of the history of America, especially in terms of like what happened with slavery, how we just completely colonized everything, took over, pushed Indians out, fucking murdered the shit out of them, and used black people to build our nation on. So this is a really good book. I highly suggest. I'm just getting to like wrap it up, but it's like, it's one of those books where like you read a page and then you have to like think about it for a while. Not because it's hard to understand, but it's just so packed full of like so much information. And I've like, the way I've been taught history growing up in school has been so dismal and sad that it's like blowing the doors down to my mind. Like total like the tower situation, just completely cracking like what I thought I knew about American history. So that's a really good one to go to. I highly suggest it. Highly suggest it.
About people needing safe spaces, they sure as hell are trying their best to ensure that white children feel safe from having to learn about that history of the country, and that the history isn't pretty.
Think of the white children.
And you know, how they maybe will have to learn that good old great-grandpa John may have been in one of those pictures from Jim Crow, Mississippi.
Right? Jim Crow, Mississippi. Like, mind you, this shit was like really not that long ago, okay? There's black people still alive today that lived back when the segregation was really hot.
Black kids and other kids know about this already. It's the white kids that everyone is trying to, air quotes here, protect. Still, as unfounded and frankly idiotic as the calls against woke education systems seem, they're having a massive impact on how schools can run. But we'll talk about that a little later when we discuss the laws that have come barreling into our country to address the woke mind virus. For now, let's look at what else has apparently gone woke. Capitalism.
Capitalism. Hey, thanks for the super chat, Heretical Response. More lemons in the chat for het response. And my bladder is the size of a pea, so I have to urinate a lot. Also, I'm like started to drink beer now, so oh jeez. This is really good. I'm glad we're having the discussion of wokeness, because it's just such a ridiculous thing. Ugh. Lemons in the chat. Lemons in the chat. Lemons in the chat. It's beautiful. Woke capitalism.
It's a pretty ludicrous idea to say that capitalism in the United States has gone woke during the current moment. We are seeing round after round of layoffs from giant corporations.
Capitalism will be whatever the hell it needs to be to keep going. Okay, let's keep that clear. It doesn't matter if capitalism is woke or anti-woke. They'll do whatever means necessary. Take whatever means necessary to stay a relevant system in humanity. Okay, let's keep that straight.
Rising costs on even the simplest of items, and people slowly but surely running out of options for how they can even survive in this economy. Forget about thriving. But despite all of this, some people claim that companies have just gone too far in the woke direction. Where is this happening? Well, I have no idea. I would love for someone to show me a handful of companies that are actually doing anything relatively good beyond a few inspiring commercials. But none of that seems to matter when employers are requiring people to go through the absolute horrors of DEI, or diversity, equity, and inclusion training.
Oh, Jesus.
If you don't think that sounds so terrible, let me turn your attention to an article in The Federalist written by John Soriano about how he survived the terrifying and harrowing experience of learning how to treat people with empathy. According to John, his woke boss was chomping at the bit to develop racial equity in the company. Oh, the humanity. Because of this, he was forced to be the representative for Latin people in DEI training, where he slayed the dragon of the term Latinx. Little did he know that discussing how people should be referred to is one of the most woke things you can actually do. Voicing your concerns is the whole point of these meetings, but he acted as if changing the vernacular was a middle finger to the whole process. He got so close to the point and then just flew straight off the cliff. After he took his mental victory lap, which are his words, not mine, he was forced to deal with the oh-so-terrifying DEI consultants. In the 3-hour training, he was thrown into the world of studies and expertise about subjects such as colorblindness, mediocrity, and microaggressions, which, oh, you poor thing, it must have been such an experience. And after his job enforced vaccination requirements, he quit. But he did live to tell his remarkable story. Throughout the course of the article, he used the word woke 17 times, might I add. In total, he spent probably 4 hours of his life in DEI training, and the way he describes it, it was like he went to war. But it's not. It was 4 hours of your life and you were paid to be there. You don't have to agree with any of it, but you do.
I spent 4 hours. I had to learn about gender equality. I had to learn about respecting women in the workplace. I had to conceptualize having black people in the workspace. I have to think about the possibility of trans people in the workplace. Oh no. Hello, Hyperian frequency. Sorry. I'm like making my noises. Or making fun of this guy saying that it was like a war, having to go to like this like diversity inclusive like training session where he just spent a total of 4 hours like learning about some stuff, like how not to be a dick, but he's like describing it as like this war zone. Like, I had to go through all this thing and learn about all this stuff, and it's just like, you went through a 4-hour training, dude. Like, shut up. Thank you so much for the super chat, Lee. Let's get some lemons in the chat. Lemons in the chat. Lemons in the chat for Lee. Lemons in the chat. Lemons in the chat. Lemons in the chat for Lee. Lemons. Lemon. There's a brand new emoji, and it's lemons, because we are sweet and sour and everything in between. And who doesn't like lemons? Answer that in the poll now. I also legitimately have like a fuck ton of lemons, and I need to do stuff with it, like zest it, juice it, freeze it, store it, spank it. I don't know. Whatever you do with Hyperian frequency on the lime of lemons. That's, I don't know why, like that phonetically like sounds really cool. Like just the sounding of it. I am the lime of lemons. It sounds like somebody like writing their memoir just before they're about to like pass. Like, My life was a good life. I am the lime of lemons. I pass my wisdom on. Your kid's like, what the fuck? Limes in the chat. Limes in the chat for Lee. Do we have limes? Is there a lime? Lime? There is no lime emoji. I know, they go great with everything. Lemon and limes in your drinks, in your teas, in your food, in a breeze. Making water just a little bit more bearable. Alright, my friends, let's get back to learning how woke is stupid.
You have to listen. Regardless, this is the terrible woke monster that people are trying to slay all over the country. Over just the last year, about 44 bills in 16 states have been developed that seek to punish companies that adopt any type of DEI strategy or promote any type of woke messaging on climate change, diversity, or any other social issues. The phrase, go woke and go broke, has been a very common and very stupid expression used by a lot of these folks.
Yeah.
Banks in particular have also apparently gone too far.
I mean, it's true. It's true to a degree. Like, being woke just really isn't that profitable by itself. Like I said earlier, coming out as trans and non-binary doesn't win me a lot of attention. It really doesn't. But if I got a puppy, then I think that's it. I'm going to get a puppy just for the attention. Watch people stop me. Watch them stop me. Watch them be like, you just got a puppy for attention. It's like, yeah, but it's well taken care of, loved. Fed treats. Like, and so what if it is for attention? Adore my puppy. Adore my puppy. That's what I would be like. You just got a puppy for attention? Yes, I know. Look how adorable.
Collapse of Silicon Valley Bank. It didn't just crash because it overextended itself and made terrible business decisions. No. Don't be silly. Don't be a goofy little bean. According to some right-leaning people on social media, I
gotta backtrack this a little bit because I feel like I paused it too much. Let me just go back to this chapter. So I want to look like a supermodel and be adored. So what? I'm gorgeous. They love it. I love it. The only people not happy is you. I love that. I should say that about me too. Like, not just a puppy. Like, you're trans for attention? Yes, I am. Look how adorable I am. And just throw confetti. Look how just trans-colored confetti. Just look at how adorable I am. Maria Seedling says, going to say goodnight to you, beautiful monads. Very late now, need some sleep, but enjoy the rest of your stream. So good nights, Jan and everyone. Good night, Maria. Let's give disco balls and Maria to send her to bed. Thank you so much for coming. It's always a struggle for Maria to come to the live streams because of time differences. So it is extremely late at night for Maria. So I really appreciate you coming by. And Maria also leaves wonderful comments on my live streams always. I really appreciate it so much. They're always so thoughtful. They're always so thoughtful and insightful. I can't even respond because they're just little masterpieces. So thank you for gracing us with your presence. We adore you. We love Maria. All right, back to this poo. Woke capitalism.
It's a pretty ludicrous idea to say that capitalism in the United States has gone woke during the current moment. We are seeing round after round of layoffs from giant corporations, rising costs on even the simplest of items, and people slowly but surely running out of options for how they can even survive in this economy. Forget about thriving. But despite all of this, some people claim that companies have just gone too far in the woke direction. Where is this happening? Well, I have no idea. I would love for someone to show me a handful of companies that are actually doing anything relatively good beyond a few inspiring commercials. But None of that seems to matter when employers are requiring people to go through the absolute horrors of DEI, or diversity, equity, and inclusion training. If you don't think that sounds so terrible, let me turn your attention to an article in The Federalist written by John...
How I survived my woke employer's diversity, equity, and inclusion struggle sessions. He was in there for 4 hours. Dude, get a coffee. Like... grab a coffee and shut up. Like, you dumbass. It was torturous. They forced me to conceptualize of any other gender in power but my own. Any other race in power but my own. It's like, you white ass dude. Like, come on, sit down. Sometimes, like, these people, like make it out to be, like, some horrible, like, moral panic. And it's, like, literally you just went to a training session that I bet you tons of companies have been doing for tons of years. It's just you decided to bring it up yourself now because you were inconvenienced and you just wanted to go get Starbuckies with your friends. Get your little Sammy Sam, your little coffee. Have a little meeting. Right.
Soriano about how he survived the terrifying and harrowing experience of learning how to treat people with empathy. According to John, his woke boss was chomping at the bit to develop racial equity in the company. Oh, the humanity. Because of this, he was forced to be the representative for Latin people in DEI training, where he slayed the dragon of the term Latinx. Little did he know that discussing how people should be referred to is one of the most woke things you can actually do. Voicing your concerns is the whole point of these meetings, but he acted as if changing the vernacular was a middle finger to the whole process. He got so close to the point and then just flew straight off the cliff. After he took his mental victory lap, which are his words, not mine, he was forced to deal with the oh-so-terrifying DEI consultants. In the 3-hour training, he was thrown into the world of studies and expertise about subjects such as colorblindness, mediocrity, and microaggressions, which, you poor thing. It must have been such an experience. And after his job enforced vaccination requirements, he quit. But he did live to tell his remarkable story. Throughout the course of the article, he used the word woke 17 times, might I add.
So he quit because he's lazy and an ass? He quit because he's a lazy ass and he doesn't want to do his job. People just don't want to work anymore.
Total. He spent probably 4 hours of his life in DEI training, and the way he describes it, it was like he went to war. But it's not. It was 4 hours of your life and you were paid to be there. You don't have to agree with any of it, but you do have to listen. Regardless, this is the terrible woke monster that people are trying to slay all over the country. Over just the last year, about 44 bills in 16 states have been developed that seek to punish companies that adopt any type of DEI.
A real man sits through 8 hours of this training.
Strategy or promote any type of woke messaging on climate change, diversity, or any other social issues. The phrase "go woke and go broke" has been a very common and very stupid expression used by a lot of these folks. Banks in particular have also apparently gone too far. Take the recent collapse of Silicon Valley Bank. It didn't just crash because it overextended itself and made terrible business decisions. No. Don't be silly. Don't be a goofy little bean. According to some right-leaning people on social media, it crashed because of its woke agenda. Because, of course. One user wrote, "The woke agenda coming from SVB is in large part to blame for their failure. The insane left-wing agenda is bankrupting our future. Go woke, get broke." And yes, because the left was who promoted the deregulation of banks. You got that one, Chief. Wait, no. That was Donald Trump who apparently did that one. Apparently that was Donald Trump, not the woke left. You can go ahead and take your several seats and take them quickly. Now, regardless, other people have claimed that their 2022 environmental report that committed $5 billion in loans to sustainability efforts by 2027 is what actually destroyed them. Meanwhile, others still were saying that it was the investment into racial justice causes or their Pride Month campaign that killed them. And for those to be even remotely true, you would assume that they mean people had stopped putting their money into the bank because they didn't agree with those policies. But that's not what happened. Plenty of people had money in the bank. The bank just used the money wrong, and that's what killed them. And funny enough, Banks in the past have done this too, way before there was a woke agenda, so how do you explain them apples?
Yeah.
Now, of course, despite the logical explanation being the correct one, people want to shift the blame to the wokeness, and this is just one example of what banks are dealing with when it comes to the woke hysteria. Others, like JP Morgan, Bank of America, and Goldman Sachs, have been cut out of bond markets because they promised to boycott energy companies in Texas that speak out against the firearm industry. Others have been sidelined for subsidizing abortions. So let me be clear here. This isn't about preventing an ideology. This is about control. When states step in to sideline banks because they show an ounce of social awareness, it isn't done to stop the banks from spreading that ideology. Who the hell cares what banks think? It's about controlling the narrative in their own state and limiting the amount of access their citizens have to companies that may actually help them. That's what this is about. And just remember, the Republican Party, the right, they love to be the party of small government. This is not very small government of them. Just remember, this is really about control. But unfortunately, banks aren't the only ones who have seen increasing anti-woke measures. Just over the last year, we have seen legislatures develop policies attacking schools, corporations, and general populations at the speed of light. And before we take a moment to talk about all of this new anti-woke agenda and population control and legislation, let's take a quick moment to thank today's sponsor.
All right, thank you for your sponsor, but we're going to be skipping your sponsor.
/casket.
The anti-woke legislation.
Now, you didn't think we'd get through an entire episode about woke mind virus without talking about the anti-woke gremlin himself, did you? Obviously, I'm talking about the governor of the country's most chaotic state.
Ron DeStinky. Ron DeSweaty. He's stinky, he's sweaty, he's no good.
Florida, and I'm speaking about Ron DeSantis. Now, despite the state being called one of the worst places to raise a family, having rising rent prices and other terrifying statistics, Ron has decided that it was prudent to, instead of, focusing on...
He's stinky, he's sweaty, he's greasy, he's no good. He's Italian, he's a greasy Italian.
The real issues, focus on attacking the wokeness in public universities. Recently, he introduced the Stop Woke, Wrongs to Our Kids and Employees Act, which prohibits schools and businesses from, quote, teaching students and employees anything that could cause anyone to feel guilt, anguish, or any form of psychological distress due to their race, color, sex, or national ordinance. I also love that he turned woke into an acronym just to add a bit of, spice to the name. And in addition to that super broad definition of what isn't allowed, DeSantis is also barring university professors from talking about the state's voting laws, and has said that public college employees have no right to freedom of speech. So, let that one sink in. People are allowed to critique you or educate others about the horrendous voting laws you've enacted to stop people from being able to vote against you. That is perfectly within their First Amendment rights. Again, for a Republican, right-leaning person who, again, small government and all about the First Amendment, this isn't very policy of you. This whole line of rules brings a certain word to mind. Darn, what is that word? Oh, fascism. Yeah, that's what it's starting to feel like. Now, as always, these new laws have nothing to do with protecting the children from, having to be uncomfortable during their lectures. This is, again, about control. It's controlling what people know about our history. And for DeSantis, it's controlling what people know about our present, too. The broadness of the act isn't an accident either, might I add. It's meant to scare people out of discussing anything having to do with gender and race, and it's working. Even before a Florida judge thankfully blocked certain aspects of the law after calling it positively dystopian, schools and teachers were already self-censoring their material. Some schools removed their anti-racist statements from websites, while others canceled courses on race in fear that they would be breaching this new law. It's clear that his plan was working, and Florida is not done dealing with this type of anti-woke bullshit. In addition to the rising amount of book bans, anti-woke bills, and don't say gay laws, which yes, those are coming back, and of course anti-trans legislation, there is certainly more on the horizon. And that includes a law that apparently would prohibit school instruction on human sexuality in elementary school, including discussions about menstrual cycles, because apparently it's too woke to tell girls what's happening to their own fucking bodies. And then of course this is more of recent.
No. So at the same time, they're gonna prevent girls from participating in sports unless they report their menstrual cycles so that they can prove they're not trans. To you can't talk about menstrual issues at school anymore. What the hell is going on? Like, I never moisturized in my life. Stop it. Stop it. I made one comment. Well, now we're down this path, okay? Like, I don't have any problems with Italians. I live with one. I've been chained to one for over 10 years of my life. I have to pee again. It's all fun. It's good. It's all just our garlic and onions. It's fine. All right, hold on.
Recent news, but just to kind of tag this in here, Ron DeSantis also had this like panel to deregulate Disney and their kind of special tax exemptions and stuff like that. So Disney just worked within the rules and now gave that little panel that Ron set up no power for like the next 50 years. And I just want to remind you, the mouse always wins. Like the mouse is like the house at a casino. It always wins. You fuck with the mouse, you get the bite. So anyway, in conclusion on that statement, I just want to say I'm very excited to find when Florida falls that it's going to become our new 50th state, Disney World, with the new capital being called like Mouse House or something. So anyway. Unfortunately though, good old Ronnie Boy is not the only one spearheading these ridiculous anti-woke laws. They're popping up everywhere around this country. In Missouri, a bill that prohibits state universities from requiring diversity statements is going through the House as we speak. Meanwhile, in South Carolina, Republicans are committing a probe on their higher education institutions regarding how much they spend on programs and activities that are related to race or sexual orientation. One can only think that they're doing this so they can argue that no matter what the budgets are, they're spending too much money on these programs and they need to be shut down. Because after all, go woke, go broke, right? North Dakota has recently decided to take a page out of Ron's playbook and introduce Bill SB 2247, which restricts the teaching of divisive concepts in classrooms, orientations, and workshops.
Divisive concepts? Divisive concepts? So what, teaching about, like, slavery in America is a divisive concept? It's a fucking... we need to teach about this, so it's no longer a divisive concept. Like, it's a divisive concept because we're not teaching people about it adequately. Why people are so just fucking, like, sensitive. I mean, they're like, oh, you just want to make my white child feel guilty. It's like that has literally fucking nothing to do with it. Nobody's doing that. Nobody wants to do that. You just need to teach little kids about what happened so that they can put it together like, oh, gee, that's bad. Let's not make those kind of, like, decisions in the future when I'm an adult. Like, that's perfectly fine. Oh. Ah. I don't know why I'm so, like, sing-songy today. Let me know if it's annoying. I'll stop the weird sing-songs.
Also prohibits mandatory training in divisive concepts and requires that any DEI employee have duties that include, quote, efforts to strengthen and increase intellectual diversity among students and faculty. And if you're wondering what the hell that means, so am I. Of course, this type of law comes with the same questions as Florida's anti-woke bills. The parameters are far too broad, and many are concerned that it will impede on universities' ability to discuss any topics that have anything to do with race, gender, or sex. The whole idea of higher education is to teach people to question everything. It's about learning and developing your critical thinking skills, and these types of bills just kneecap that ability. Will people be able to discuss the work of Martin Luther King Jr., of Malcolm X, Angela Davis? Maybe, but maybe not. It might just be too divisive. Still, these bills just keep growing.
I wish we were taught more about Angela Davis in school, but she's definitely somebody I looked into later in my adult years that, like, I thought had, like, a lot of profound things to say. Sorry, I'm, like, pouring water on my hands over my carpet. That's great. Angela Davis is fantastic. Hyperian Frequency says what they are really fighting is children being taught ideas different or opposite to what they are taught at home. Yeah, it's true. They want things to match, but then what's going on at home? The children don't go to war with each other. It's the parents that lose their minds. It's true. Kids don't fucking know. They don't. They really don't. It's the parents putting on their own impressions of people onto the child. And these parents that put their impressions and their ideas onto their children and don't like their children going to school and learning about something that opposes that, then it really highlights the fucking problem here. So what is it that children are being taught at home that's in opposition to what the schools want to teach? If the schools want to teach diversity, inclusivity, things like that, and that goes in opposition to what they're being taught at home, can we put together those dots of what's going on at home? Kids are being taught to be racist and inclusive at home. That's what's going on. And they don't know any better. They just don't know any better. They don't. I mean, like, my family was definitely racist. They masked as people who were, like, in support of, like, people of color and things like that. I mean, it's like my sister married somebody who was Egyptian. My brother married a black woman. But it's like, they're still racist people. And there's just so much that I've had to unlearn. Don't cry. I'm fine. Like, don't cry for me. Like, but they were very, like, I thought I knew inclusivity because there's people of color, like, growing up in my life. But there was, like, so much of the bigger picture that was being taught to me that wasn't actually inclusivity, that wasn't actually teaching me what was going on. That's something I've had to find out myself, and that I'm still finding out myself about how wrong I am. I like that Trump, that wrong. Everything I learned is wrong. Like, for example, a lot of white people make the mistake that if they grow up in poverty, then that's like the same as like being a black person in America. That, you know, if they grow up with black people in a poverty neighborhood, whatever the hood, I don't even fucking know. Like, they think like, oh, I'm equal, so that when they are faced with like actually unlearning the racism and learning what needs to be understood, they get very offensive and defensive. Like, I grew up with black people, I'm poor too. It's like, yo, like, that was one, like, in my early 20s, that was something that I had to really grapple around and be like, Jan, knock it the fuck off. Just because you grew up poor doesn't mean, like, you have grand insight to, like, how black people are living their lives. That's just an example of what I mean by, like, I thought I knew, like, I thought I was being inclusive. And there's so much of the bigger picture where you find out you're just not. So we need we need education like this in school. I wish this was some shit that I was taught in school, because we never talked about this. We never talked about it at all. You go through the slavery and history and whatever, the segregation, it's like a blip. It's like a week, you know? Oh, if it's Black History Month, then maybe you'll have a test on it. But it's like, you're just so saturated with facts among all the other things you're going through in school. You don't really take the time to learn, like, what's going on.
And are attacking anything the right claims is woke, including, of course, anything regarding the LGBTQ+ community. The ACLU has been tracking the bills popping up over the country, and so far, they've found over 430 anti-gay laws that have been introduced just this year in 2023. We're not even halfway through the year and there's over 430 bills. That's incredible in all the worst ways. Some of these bills forbid transgender students from participating in school sports. Texas recently put forward a bill that closed a loophole for people competing with teams that don't match their sex assigned at birth. Originally, people could participate if they changed their birth certificates to match their gender identity, which is jumping through a bunch of hoops already. But now, they're ensuring that even doing that won't be enough to let people play on teams that match their gender identity. Other bills are going to force teachers to out their students, something that we've talked about earlier. Arizona, for example, put forward a bill that would forbid teachers from withholding information about their students' purported gender identity and would allow parents to sue the schools if the teachers didn't comply. Everywhere you look, there seems to be another horrendous bill popping up that claims to go against the woke agenda. But again, that's not what it's about. Do you remember what it's about? Everyone, come, say it with me now. Control. While it may be fun to laugh at the ridiculous claims that banks or Legos have somehow gone woke, the real-life consequences of this hysteria...
Renaissance Fairy says the next book I'm working on is a philosophy of racism. You know, I think it would be a good idea. Maybe we can start, or maybe put it in the links thread or something. But like book suggestions in our Discord server. I think that would be really good. Hyperion Frequencies says, Jan, absolutely. It's more than just class and wealth structures. They are also major opposers of minorities and such. Exactly. Sorry, I kind of went on a rant there. I'm just like, I don't know. Sometimes, like, shit just gets me popping off. I think I just get really angry when we're, like... like, my idea of reality is fucked up. I know it. It's not perfect. I'm doing my best to dismantle all of that and tear all of that down. But can we please start with the kids where they don't have to do that? Can we build kids up to begin with to be better than us? Can we do that? That's where I get angry. It's like, never mind me. Like, I'm a fucking lost cause. Don't worry about me. Like, I'm going to do the best I can and try to dismantle myself. But, like, children, they don't have that opportunity. They are built up. And they need to be built up in a way that does, you know, that's more rational.
Driven narrative are happening all around us. People have successfully co-opted a word meant to portray knowledge and turned it into a way to spread hate. This isn't the first time this has happened. It sure as hell won't be the last. So for right now, that's the end of today's episode. This will continue to develop.
That was one of our best ones, and that was short too. Like, I feel like that could have been like easily like an hour thing. That was like way short and punchy. I love Illuminati. She's great. She is great. A werewolf cat. What in the werewolf cat?
I assure you, you've never seen a cat like this before.
A werewolf cat?
Mondo. Hello. This is Mondo, and he's a 1-year-old Lycoi. And he may also be the strangest looking cat that I've ever seen. It's okay. While I always trim the murder mittens before grooming, I am definitely going to trim them on a cat that looks like a werewolf.
Okay. Okay, it's okay.
Uh-oh, we're getting wet.
You have, like, no hair. Probably the most different looking cat I've ever seen. It's not just the color, it's the hair is really thin. Yeah. It's like a different texture. It's okay, kitty. Okay, that was a really easy bath. Now I rinse you down. Okay, don't freak out.
Meow. Meow. He's having a hard time.
The Lycoi
Tyler, hey, looks like a cat to me. I don't know.
That sometimes appear in domestic cats.
It's all done. Your bath takes 3 seconds. You don't have any hair.
Lycoi kittens are born with hair, and they start losing it around 1 or 2 weeks of age.
That's funny.
They can become completely bald, and then eventually their fur starts growing back. But when it grows back a different texture, it's much thinner, and it's patchy, resembling a werewolf.
That's funny.
But despite their
I
lack
want a
of
werewolf
fur,
cat. That
these
looks cool.
cats are actually heavy shedders. They are similar to the Sphinx, where they require regular bathing, as the oils on their skin can collect dirt. They should not be let outside for long periods of time because their fur cannot protect them from the elements. Mondo's groom took me a total of maybe 2 seconds, and I really enjoyed my time with him. Thank you all so much for watching.
Go in your purse.
I hope you enjoyed the
Get in the
mysterious
purse. You get in your purse. Cute. So, next, my friends, honestly, I really want to get into sovereign citizens. There was a sovereign citizen in Morg's chat yesterday, but like at the very end, somebody asked about like sovereignty and sovereignty. They asked about sovereignty, and I was just like, I was like, sovereign citizens are just extra Karens. And then some guy with the username like sovereign Dan or like Sovereign Ron, I can't remember, like was like, well, shows that you don't know anything. It's like, and I'm like, dude, I know more than you. But the live stream ended like right then and then, so like I wasn't able to get into it. But like recently I've been diving into Sovereign Citizens, and it's ridiculous shit. So basically Sovereign Citizens is like a movement of people who tries to essentially hold themselves above the government. They don't abide by the rules. They state very simply, well, I didn't like contractually agree to your rules and things like that. So like these people will get pulled over for like just basic traffic tickets, and they'll just have whole ass huge arguments of like I'm not technically driving, I'm technically traveling. And I just like, I have to get into this because I've been getting into it, and I've been on this stupid arc, okay, where I'm just watching a shitload of cop videos, and I hate cops, but it's like I look for the shit where like they run into these dumbass people of Sovereign Citizens that try to like one up them on like their knowledge of like the government and how the government structure works, and it's like that's not how it's gonna work. So I just want to be very clear. I don't care for cops. I don't want to get off the idea that I'm just like, but you know what's so funny? Like now that I've been watching like all this cop stuff, like my feed, like my YouTube algorithm feed is like, you want to watch all this like pro MAGA stuff too, and this pro cop stuff and support the cops. I'm like, no, bitch, I'm just watching these fucking videos. Sovereign Citizens, damn. Sovereign Citizen fails. So these are my favorite. I like this guy. This guy's really good.
Hi, this is Tony Mike. I'm coming to you from Chicago as usual, and today we're going to go back and do a nice Sovereign Citizen traffic fail, and a little something we're going to call Sovereign Citizen traffic fail number 29. It's good stuff. Let's do it.
This Law Talk with Mike is a pretty neutral channel. He doesn't really do anything controversial. He just like reacts to like Sovereign Citizens fails and stuff and like courtroom stuff. So I mean, it's not like this guy doesn't have like an extreme profound opinion or view on life that I like him for. He's just like really good at like presenting the information, and he also is extremely knowledgeable. So
well, here we go.
Okay, if you can hear me, I need your license, please.
Hold on.
For what did I do wrong, officer?
Are you refusing to identify yourself?
I will give you my name and my address.
Okay, I need your license.
You need my license?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you have a license?
Why would you need my license?
What did I do?
Did I do something wrong?
You swerved in the other.
Did I
Because you were driving a car?
break a law? Did I break a law?
You did.
I did because I crossed the dash line is illegal now.
Do you have a license?
Yes, I have a license.
Okay. Can I see it, or are you refusing to identify yourself?
I will give you my name and my address. I will.
So one of the main common tactics of Sovereign Citizens is they try to make it where if they get pulled over for a random traffic stop, they'll try to argue first with the officer and be like, have I actually done anything illegal? But their idea of what's illegal and what's not doesn't exactly like correlate with the actual laws of the state that they're in. So they try to pull this thing off where it's like, well, I don't have to give you my identity. I will give you my name, because ultimately they don't want to be referred to as any sort of official title, like, you know, by their government name. And even so far as like, you can't even call them like ma'am, sir, mix, anything like that, because they're like, that's technically a title, that's not my name. So their angle is to say, I'm not in your system, I'm not a number. I'm not a title. I'm a born and bred human being made by God, and this is God's land, and I'm a child of God, and I'm a free person here. And so they feel like they don't have to have any car registration or valid driver's license because they're not technically driving a car, a commercial car, or for any business purposes. They're just simply traveling, and they refer to like some constitutional bullshit. By the way, the Constitution has been amended like several fucking times, but they go to like one of the oldest versions where it's like there's some stupid like generic law where it's like man has the right to like travel, but it doesn't apply anymore. Why? Because individual states have certain laws. And it turns out, yes, you do have to technically have a valid driver's license, and you have to have insurance, and you have to have it registered and things like that.
Oh yes, identify myself.
Do what?
I will give you my name and address and identify myself to you, sir.
Where's your driver's license? Do you not have a driver's license?
I do not have it with me, sir.
Okay.
But I will give you every
form of identification with
I will give you any information that you need.
Ma'am, listen to what I'm asking you, because I'm already standing over here by traffic because you won't roll down the window so I can understand.
I am a U.S. citizen. I am a fourth-generation Texan and a daughter of the American Revolution. Okay. I pay property taxes.
That is the whitest, like, fucking, like, gun-shooting, American beer-drinking fucking title. I'm a fourth-generation Texan and a daughter of the Revolution. Like, nobody fucking cares.
Okay, so there you go. This is fun. We kick it right off because I'm
bitch, where's your Confederate
the
flag?
Law does not apply to me. It's a horrible argument, but it's the sort of thing they do.
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
Don't forget to hit like. The boys would really appreciate it. Unless you have something against Frankie and Ollie.
No, they're cute.
Obey state and federal laws, including the laws to drive a vehicle. I maintain my car, my inspection.
No, you don't. Apparently, he's saying that you committed a traffic citation and he's pulling you over. I'm guessing that the state you're in, you have to produce your license when you get pulled over, and you're not abiding by that law. So there you have it.
My registration, and my insurance. Okay. I choose to exercise my sacred constitutional rights as a...
Mark, would you like me to represent you in a U.S. criminal defense case arguing entirely from a 300-year-old Googled English common law? Because it's not just America that people are doing this. They're doing it all over. All over. In fact, there's some good Australian ones that I saw where people are doing the same thing. And it's the same shtick. It's just like, basically, these people just waste time. Like, these are just really irritating arguments. But I'm just, like, so fascinated that, like, people are so full of themselves. I mean, having a car is really fucking expensive, okay? You gotta pay, like, the insurance, the gas, the upkeep, shit like that. Like, frankly, I'm getting to the point where I feel like I'd be better off without one, or I definitely need a new vehicle soon, because mine, she's old. I have a 2000 Mustang. I just replaced the entire clutch in it, like a year and a half ago, and I'm like, she's not got much longer to go on her. Like, that car's gonna die soon. But, you know, it's expensive, but you gotta keep the shit going on, because otherwise you're gonna get towed, you're gonna get ticketed, you're gonna get this, that, or the other. I actually had my registration expired, and I didn't get it renewed because literally I was poor. Because the pandemic happened, I didn't have a job, and it was just really hard to keep up on things. And then I just started work, even though my registration had expired. I was still driving to work because the only way for me to get the money to pay for the registration that it's expired, I had to work, you know, and the only way to work, I had to drive there. So I was caught in a catch-22, and I actually did get pulled over, and I did get ticketed for that. And the only reason they did not tow my car, is because in my area, there was a specific classic car show, and all of the tow trucks in the area were occupied with that because a lot of those classic cars aren't actually street legal. They had to like tow them over. So like that was the only way I got off on that. And they told me go straight home. And if we see this piece of shit on the road again, we're going to fucking impound it. And I'm like, yes, thank you. Like if it wasn't for that, I would have been so fucked. So fucked. Hyperian Frequency Lee says like 4 months expired. Just got my tags literally yesterday. Yeah, there was actually I don't know. This is really bad to say. I think it was like 5 years ago. There was actually like a good, I think like 10 months that I went with expired tags, because I just couldn't afford it. Like I don't know. Like I know it's weird for people to think like, well, how can you not afford it? It's like, man, if you're living like down, if you're like literally like spending $5 a week or $10 a week just to eat food and like have some ramen, like you can't afford your fucking registration.
Advised by legal counsel. Okay. I'm noting my rights to you now. My Fourth Amendment right is the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not.
And effects? Like, does that say vehicle though?
Not be violated.
Yeah. The big question there is unreasonable. First of all, we don't have a search and seizure. You have a duty to turn over your license, I'm guessing.
See, that's what's so funny. Like, no one's asking to search and seizure your fucking shit. You're literally being asked to show ID. But by all means, lady, keep crying, keep welling up those crocodile tears.
That's the case in most states. But if not, then we're down to whether or not this is unreasonable, and that's not for you to determine. That's for a judge to determine. And then let me tell you how the judge is going to come out on that. The judge is going to come out and say it's not unreasonable. The police officer can ask you for your license to identify who you are.
Ma'am.
Yes.
Are you willing to write your name and date of birth down?
Ma'am. Yes, I will do that for you.
You don't have any form of identification.
Ma'am.
I will tell you who I am. I will give you any information you need to know about me.
Okay,
give me your social security number then. Give me your social security number. Let's start with that.
ID or Texas driver's license or California or any other state in the United States.
I will tell you my name and address. I will give you any information you request.
Can you write your info down for me?
Yes, sir. Sandra Bland. Sandra Bland.
I can't understand you.
Sandra Bland.
Okay, this is the second time this has come up, and I find it despicable. That case is sort of a Rorschach test on how you feel about things. I don't mean to get too into it, but the first time it came up, I didn't recognize the case by name. And then it was brought up in the comments, and I'd heard of the Sandra Bland case. I just didn't know by name. There are lots of these sorts of cases, but it's just trying to play a victim card. It's not what's going on here. Because of Sandra Bland, it does not mean that we no longer enforce traffic laws. It's just silly.
Your name is Sandra Bland?
No, okay. That is a name that you need to remember.
Are you referring to the Sandra Bland Act?
I don't know about the act, but I know the poor woman was detained and taken to jail and died.
Like side by side speeding up. I don't know what to do with this.
That is my name and address.
Date of birth for me? Do you have anything else with your name on it?
I have my proof of insurance.
Okay, is this car registered to you?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay. But you don't have any form of Texas ID?
I do.
Well, this is refreshing. She's got insurance, and apparently, at least, and I believe it is, the car is registered to her. So now she's just really making problems for herself for no good reason whatsoever. She could get through this.
Okay, and why can't I see your Texas ID?
I'm compelled to keep my property within my possession.
Okay.
I think technically the license belongs to the state for this very reason. And then you carry it, obviously, and you have it on your person most of the time. But that That is, I believe, the situation.
Wait,
I'm curious.
Did I miss
here.
something?
Let me know what you think in the comments below. Does she actually have a license, or is it she suspended off a DUI or something like that? And
Yeah.
that's what's causing all this nonsense.
It's got to be suspended.
I'm not refusing.
Honestly, if I was so broke that I couldn't pay my registration and I got pulled over, like, I kind of wish I would have, like, known this stuff. Like, where's your registration? I don't have it. You don't? No. I'm not driving, though. I'm simply traveling to the corner store where I am getting a $2 beer. I'm sorry. Like, I am simply... Hello, fine officer. I am simply traveling to the local corner store to get me a 4 Locos. And possibly a twisted tea. Twixt, I will then travel over to my companions and engage in an evening of Netflix and chill. Perhaps we shall consume some artisan tacos. But we are not driving. I'm not driving. Simply traveling. Like, what do you have, a horse and buggy? Like, what, was this fucking common law built, like, when, like, there was just Model Ts hitting the roads? When there was, like, literally no fucking traffic laws invented yet? And people were just fucking crashing in into each other? It's a non-local object fundamentally, and not the substance of an actually you carry around, or a semblance, and not the semblance of actuality you carry around. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying really hard to read it in my fancy voice. Okay, you know, it's like the very first fucking thing they teach you in driving class and driver's ed is driving is a privilege, not a right. Because your dumb ass is gonna be put into a hunk of metal and hauling that hunk of metal at like several miles per hour. Yeah. Everyone's gonna want to know that you can do it somewhat or have some sort of grasp of doing it correctly. I remember when I first started driving my Mustang, I was like so terrified because like shifting and all that, and I was just like, oh. I was constantly like killing that car in the middle of like traffic and stuff. It was really fun, but I got to learn how to drive it like really well. But I'm at the point now where like I don't want it. I don't want a manual car anymore. I don't want to drive manually. I want an automatic, is what I mean. That was manual car. And I don't mind that. Okay, can I tell you what? I want a fucking van. I want a dad van. You know what I want? I want like one of those NV0020s. NV. Let's see. NV 200s. I want one of these. Yeah. Yeah. This. I want this. I want a dad van. And I want to like customize the inside of it so it's like a little camper. That's what I want. That just really hit me the funniest way. I'm sorry. It's such a funny image. It's so true. Mark's like, the officer could spread peanut butter on your license and eat it if he like. They really can. They could just be like, you know what? I don't like your attitude. Give me this. Walk home. We're towing your car. Goodbye, bitch. I don't think these sovereign citizens understand just how patient these goddamn officers are. Like, am with them. And if this bitch was any other person, say a black person, more likely than not, her life would be in danger right now. But look at her, just fucking Karening away. I'm telling you, these are like extra Karens.
I'm not refusing.
These are Karens that are not just gung-ho about confronting store managers like a grocery store manager. These are Karens that are like, I'm gonna fucking school you on the law.
Anything.
Listen to me for 1 second, okay? Do you know it's against the state law of Texas, okay? The transportation code, you have to present your license upon request from a peace officer. If not, you can be arrested and transported to jail, ma'am.
I will show my driver's license to you, but I want to keep it in my possession.
Okay.
Okay, so you just lied to him too, which...
Yeah, she straight up just said, did she not just say earlier that she didn't have a driver's license and that she would gladly give him her name? But she did not have a driver's license. Now she's saying that she does have one, so that's not going to go well.
You know, we have right here on...
It's these moments where I like to see these people get handcuffed because they're so irritating. They need to be removed from society and thrown into a hole. I don't know.
Videos. You just told me you didn't have it with you, and now presented with that proposition, you say, well, here it is. I'll show it to you.
Well, you have to let me see your driver's license.
I will show it to you, but I will like to keep it in my possession.
No, ma'am, I have to have it.
It says the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses,
Don't
papers,
read
and
it
effects.
again.
Listen to me. I understand what you're reading.
I am scared.
Okay.
No, you're not.
There's no reason.
No, you're not. No, you're not. She's not scared of the officer and what the officer will do. She's scared that what she's putting out there, she's scared that what she's saying may not fucking work out as well as she thought it would. That's what she's really scared of. Don't fucking give me this crap like you're scared, lady. You're just getting upset because you're starting to realize that your little foundation of rationality is starting to crumble and fall before your very fucking eyes. What a sensitive ass-like little lady.
Be scared.
Well, I don't even know why I was pulled over. I did nothing illegal.
Because you swerved in the lane twice.
No, I did not swerve across any lanes.
Miss Wilder, if you do not present me your driver's license in my hand, then you're going to be taken...
No, I will show you.
The only reason she's getting more eccentric in her expression, like she's getting more emotional, is because she's realizing this song and dance isn't going to quite work like she wants it to. She's not going to get things going the way she wants. That's what she's really upset about. She's afraid that her own power is crumbling before her.
I will present you my driver's license, but I will keep it in my possession, please.
I need you to take them out of your wallet, ma'am. I need you to let me have them, ma'am. That does not work that way, ma'am. You can put them in my hand. This does not count. You will still be arrested, ma'am. I'm trying to help you out here.
You can't arrest me I'm providing you with the law.
Lady, he can break your fucking window. If you're just like uncooperative, they'll break your window and drag your ass out.
Law says I have to provide you.
What the law says. Okay. Let me.
No, you are not. You are not telling me the law. I know the
Miss Wilder, place the driver's license.
Miss Wilder. Miss Wilder. Miss Wilder is getting wilder and wilder as she goes. That's a very fitting last name for Miss Wilder.
I am.
Last warning.
It says here, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures.
Ma'am, we're not. This is not a Fourth Amendment deal. This is you're violating the Texas law.
Am I being?
Absolutely. Not only is she wrong, but
also this is something that like sovereign citizens like to do. They like to have these tedious arguments with these police. These police are just there to like deliver you shit. They're the messenger boys. They're the delivery boys. where you need to be having this argument is in court with the judge.
The officer's on top of the issue, is not confused in the least, and is frankly being pretty patient about the whole situation.
Detained.
I understand.
Am I being detained?
Yes, ma'am, you're being detained.
For what reason?
For violation of the traffic law.
For being annoying. I would love to be. See, this is why I could never be a police. First of all, I wouldn't want that profession because it's fucking corrupt as shit. But, like, if I was, I would be like, you're being detained because you're annoying the fuck out of me. I'd be fire. I'd be like, lady, I'm gonna put you in cuffs just because you made me cringe, okay? These are the cringe cuffs. You get the cringe cuffs. You made me cringe, you get the cuffs.
What traffic law did I break?
Fail to signal lane change.
I didn't change lanes.
Okay. Let me have your driver.
I did not change lanes.
Okay, great. You didn't change lanes. I don't know if you did or didn't. I wasn't there. That's what we call a defense. So he's saying you did change lanes, and if you say you didn't change lanes, that there is a good fact dispute to take before a judge. That's where those things get sorted out.
You have your driver's license.
I'm not. Okay. I refuse to speak any further.
Your window's supposed to be busted, and you're going to be pulled out of your car.
Okay, well, I'm videotaping this.
There it is. There it is. There it is. Your window's going to get busted if you don't get out of the fucking car.
And my lawyer.
Understand what it's about?
I would like to call my lawyer.
My lawyer. I want to call my lawyer. I'm being abused right now. This is police brutality. The police are abusing me right now. They're hitting me. They're hitting me.
Ma'am.
I would like to call my lawyer. I would like to call my lawyer. I would like to call my lawyer.
I know you.
I love it when they degrade to just like a childlike state. I want to call my lawyer.
You are all pulling for that busted window right now.
I am totally pulling for the busted window.
I did not do anything.
Oh my god, she's a child.
I did not do anything.
You are, yeah, exactly. Katrina says you are being arrested for being a Karen. Honestly, we should, if of all the stupid legislation being put out there, of all the stupid legislation being put out against trans people, against teaching about black slavery in America in schools, things like that, of all these stupid anti-woke laws, why isn't there the anti-Karen law? Why can't we just arrest people just on the basis of being a Karen? Like, you are a Karen, you're being arrested. White privilege done gone completely psychotic on itself. Yeah, as it always does. White privilege, when people are confronted with that and they're forced to come to a realization about it and how it doesn't work in some situations, like, and mostly, you know, if it's being challenged ideologically, if their power's being challenged logically, they degrade into children, like literal just I'm not a racist, I'm really bleh. It's like, yeah, you are. That's why you're so fucking upset about it.
I did not do anything wrong. I'm being harassed.
This lady, oh my god, she's a character. They all are. I wish that, like, sovereign citizen Ron or Dan or whatever his name was, I wish he would come back in here.
I'm being harassed.
Oh, you were not being harassed. Would you fucking stop it? Ooh. I'm not a violent person, but have you ever met somebody where you're like, I kind of want to slap you upside the head? Sorry, like, I don't condone violence or anything like that, but it's just like, sometimes you're just like, you know, I don't support hitting anybody, by the way, unless it's in defense. It's just a figure of speech. Mark says, I think when the Karen treatment of the waiter at the bistro becomes the Karen treatment of the law enforcer officer, they can be arrested just for that. They can. You can totally be arrested if you just keep fucking arguing and debating with officers for, like, obstructing justice. Or, like, you know, just because, like, you're argumentative, we've asked you, we've given you, like, a command to give me your fucking license. You said you have it. Like, you're not giving it to me. You're not being cooperative. You're detained. Okay, now you're under arrest for obstructing justice because you won't let us do our job.
2 times without using your turn signal. Without signaling your lane change.
I did not make a lane change.
Okay. Do you understand that you're fixing to be arrested if you don't present your Texas ID?
I cannot be arrested.
You can be arrested.
I cannot be arrested. You can be arrested. They are being so fucking, like, courteous to this. They're being, like, way too, I think, charitable to this lady.
What law?
I love it. You can only be fixing to be arrested in the South. It's beautiful.
You're a fixin' to be arrested, ma'am.
Did I break?
You're failing to identify yourself.
I identified myself to the police officer.
Ma'am, put it in my hand.
I am not giving you my possession.
Okay, then you're going to be taken out of the car.
Miss Wilder, I have to issue you some type of citation.
Please do.
But I need your information.
I presented it to you and him both.
No, you haven't.
Miss Wilder, is it really worth all of this?
Yes.
Is it really worth all of this?
It is for her.
I'm about to go to jail.
I'm done
when
communicating.
You can leave probably
I'm done communicating. I will no longer continue to be harassed.
You're not being harassed.
The officer actually says...
When women like this are in such a special kind of power, when they're in their fucking privileged, when they're treated like other people are treated, like how everyone else is treated, they feel like it's oppression. They feel like it's harassment. When really they're being held accountable the same way that other people are. She's not being punished. She's not being harassed. She's not being treated poorly. She's just simply not getting her way. She just simply is not getting her way. And that's what she's upset about. She's not harassed. She's just not getting her way.
You could probably get out of this with a warning. Give me the license, which may or may not be true, but at worst, you get a citation. You're at least transferring this from 1 citation to 2. One's an improper lane change. Now you're going to have failure to produce a license and improper lane change. You got a shot at 0 here by handing him the license. But no, we're going to take this route.
Ma'am.
Yes.
Open your door, please.
No, sir.
You understand you're about to have your window busted and you're about to be drug out.
Busted.
Correct?
Busted. Busted.
For
Busted.
what reason?
Busted.
Because
Busted.
you're failing to obey.
Busted. Busted.
Oh,
Come on.
man.
Anybody else, you would have busted it already. Just fucking bust that bitch.
Oh, that's illegal.
Oh, I know. It's so disappointing.
Oh, her door was unlocked anyways.
We all thought that window was gone, but alas, she forgot to lock it.
She didn't lock it, so he was just able to... You know what? If that was locked, though, he would have totally went to bust it next. So... for her own protection.
That is unreasonable search. I do not agree to any illegal searches of my car, my persons, or my property.
That's fine, because there's no illegal search of your car or property going on here.
There's that keyword there. I do not consent to any illegal search. There's no illegal search happening now, ma'am. This is perfectly legal. You just don't understand that, and you're mad that your little spiel is not working. I love this. These are the videos I live for.
I do not agree to any legal searches of my person, my car.
The baby crying.
I did nothing wrong.
There's no baby. It's just sound over it.
Why? What did I do wrong?
Car's off.
I'm completely within my rights.
Right, but it's evident. But it's evidence now.
Well, there you have it. Another sovereign citizen.
I want to watch another one. Let's look at this white ass dick.
Hello, hello, hello. This is Attorney Mike Graff. I'm coming to you from
Hello,
Chicago
hello.
as usual. I'm going with the summer background here.
Nice.
Just because it's so nasty, it makes me feel better somehow. But today we're just doing a fun one. I wanted to do an old-fashioned sovereign citizen traffic stop. I got this from Tones Overthinks It. He does a really nice job with the video. I put a link to it in the description below, along with a link to his channel. I recommend it. Go over there, subscribe. He does a nice job with it, but I just took it out. I just took the clip because I want to have our own fun with it. It's a good one. It's not very long and it's very entertaining.
I'm going for the short ones. There are so many of these that are really long, and it's kind of like worth it to see it, but it's like.
And don't forget to hit like and subscribe.
Puppers.
Don't make Oscar beg. It's rude.
Oscar. Oh.
The bad guys are trying to extort us and get money from us, so you need to be really good, okay?
All right, but I'm asking you to turn the vehicle.
I'm stopping this already. I'm stopping this already. This guy has a child in the car, and if you did not catch that, he was telling his child, like, hey, there's some bad guys, like, trying to mess with us, so we gotta be cool, okay? Like, already he's indoctrinating his freaking child. I have to pee. I want to watch this one. I have to pee. I'm sorry I have to pee a lot. You see this giant, like, water thing? I've already had one of these today. I filled this up just before the live stream, and I'm also having, like, a few beers here, so I'm, like, having to pee, like, constantly now. So I apologize for that. I have a bladder the size of a pea, okay? And I hate the sensation of needing to pee. It's the worst feeling in the entire world, of feeling the need to pee, and I will rearrange the entire constellations and stars so that I can have a place and time to pee. This is why I like road trips by myself, because I can pull over and pee as many times as I fucking want.